What black community? It's a black environment with black women and black children in it.
Each moment gleaming in the light feels like a story before now.
JLA. Good morning. Good morning. Wake y'all asses up. It's the Lord's Day. Got to do the Lord's work. Boys, it's time. Now, I've been talking to you guys about this thing that I've been calling it the anti-manosphere for a while now. I have been referring to this new wave. It's like manosphere 5.0. And it's a completely radical break from what the manosphere has been up until that point. And I've been talking about like the co-ed panels and all that comes along with trying to have a female audience in the manosphere. And I'm not happy with it. You know, we're not going to rehash old territory there, but I have been pointing out to you that this was a thing that's happening. This is a concerted effort from outside of the manosphere to put some pressure and to maybe wrestle the narrative away from these angry black guys with their podcast equipment in the basement. And one of the most infuriating things that the black manosphere has really created is a new level of political discourse and a new arena for political ideas to blossom and do battle with other ideas and see who can stand up at the top. And one of the new ideas that I'm not going to say it's come from the manosphere, but you definitely get some overlap with manosphere types, with black manosphere types. It's this idea of FBA, Foundational Black Americans, or ADOS, right? Now, although the manosphere has the reputation of pushing men toward the right, black men, even toward the right. FBA and ADOS are relatively left-leaning concepts, you know, racial identitarian groups and whatnot. However, because it is essentially men being male focused and trying to figure out what is actually best for me, the overlap with the manosphere persists, right? And so we get a lot of the FBA types and whatnot in these spaces. This political diversion from the Democrat narrative has woken, it stirred the beast. We have really angered the political beast of left-wing culture. And a couple of weeks ago, the grits and eggs guy went viral. Let's bring him back up real quick. Let's go back to the grits and eggs podcast guy. Because I was listening to FD Signifier a bit earlier this morning, and it's kind of why I just threw a show together real quick. Because I knew the effort was there, and I didn't realize how widespread the effort was, but we are in the anti-manosphere phase right now. There are a wave of podcasts that have presented themselves that, if you just kind of read between the lines, their whole entire reason for being is to shut those niggas up. Let her talk is their whole raison d'etre. That's the only reason why they even want to be on the mic, is to shut these niggas up and to let her talk. A shout out to the Midwest Request with the $2 super chat. He says, hallelujah to you this Sunday too, Hood. Thank you so much for the support. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Hit that like button, y'all.
You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
All right, let's talk about your boy, Deontay Kyle, the grits and eggs guy.
But why do we perpetuate this shit to all black people? We want all black people to adhere to street rules. Don't snitch. What? I'm not supposed to preserve my own freedom? Because you want to fly off the handle? We ain't talking about a RICO case where Diddy was trafficking bricks of cocaine. He was trafficking people. Don't snitch? What are you talking about?
I really resent the use of a really singular, unique figure like Diddy to try to castigate and shame all black men, as if we are all somehow responsible for the Diddys of the world. If you're going to blame a group for Diddy, here's my take on it, right? How come Diddy ain't never get shot by none of these so-called gangster rappers? If anybody was supposed to hold Diddy accountable, it was supposed to be one of you hardcore psycho killer, don't step on my Jordans type of gangster rapper niggas. But no, nobody did nothing. But here, somehow me, a regular nigga that goes to work every day, drives a truck, I gotta hold Diddy accountable somehow.
Trying to blow up Kid Cudi's car. Don't snitch? And he was subpoenaed.
He gotta go.
I'm gonna throw away my Diddy tried to blow up my car. I've been subpoenaed to come to court and testify, but I'm gonna keep it hip hop and go to prison myself. Me, Kid Cudi. In the words of famous Harlem philosopher, can you be dead ass right
now? Yo. Oh shit.
it just doesn't make sense, yo. It doesn't make sense. You riding in the car with your homeboy, right? Me and you, we riding.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I realized too, when you listen to this guy long enough, he is an idiot's idea of clever. Like, his scenarios don't actually add up to the kind of point he wants to really make.
I'm a street dude. You a civilian. You go to work every day.
Mm-hmm.
Hey man, you think you can pick me up from work? I come pick you up from work. I got work in the car. We get pulled over. I throw the work underneath the seat. They ask, whose is it? Now, me being a street nigga and having a code, the real thing to do was say that's my shit instead of implicating my man who completely innocent. But is that what street niggas do?
Oh no.
Oh no. No, let me get this innocent nigga. Let me get this civilian's freedom. Let me put his freedom on the line.
Right.
Because I'm keeping it real.
What that got to do with me and Diddy, though? Like, it's one thing if you actually in a situation with somebody, right? That's a whole different narrative. What that got to do with me and Diddy? Deacon Dave with the $2 super chat says he has a punchable face. Let's big screen that. Does that look punchable to you guys? I just noticed he has another one of those really weird hairlines. It's like a drawn-in hairline. It's like they didn't even cut it with a razor like the Dominicans do. They drew it with a pencil like the Africans do.
I don't know whose it is. And what's the pressure on you to do? Because of your fear of being judged by men or the possibility of violence ensuing from men, what are you implored to do?
Be quiet. I don't know who work it is.
I don't know who work it is.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if don't nobody take it, both of y'all going down.
Now both of y'all gotta go to jail.
That's real nigga shit. Oh, hey, if that's real nigga shit, keep me far out of it.
Clearly, Deontay Kyle doesn't understand the intricacies of real nigga shit. For the record, you can't charge two people with the same possession, so only one of us is getting that charge. Generally speaking, it belongs to the owner of the car. I'm just trying to, clear all these fat nigga from the suburb rumors up for you. You can't charge us both with the same possession. That's a dub. And if nobody says anything, we know for a fact whose car this is. And it follows from there.
I don't want to be no real nigga.
Right.
I'm good on that. And then look, Jeezy fucked up real nigga for me a long time. All the real niggas either dead or in jail. Well, guess what?
Goddamn.
Well, guess what, brother? Guess what, brother? Keep me out of it.
Yeah.
He is right on that one. You can keep me out of that jail shit. I'm good. I had about enough of being a real nigga. I made it out alive. I'm happy.
I don't want none of it.
I got a lot of goals. Them two ain't it.
Yeah.
All the real niggas either dead. And if you're looking for me, nigga, I'm in the ATL. You tell the CIA where you at.
Where you at?
But this is the new class of Black online thought leader, right? These are the guys who they exist to wrestle the narrative away from the manosphere types, because the manosphere niggas got too big, too many eyeballs. That Kevin Samuels nigga, he blew up. He had millions of watchers every night. Like it was too much. It was too much. We had to do something.
But it's a lack of media literacy. Like, we don't question what we see. So it brings me to this idea that we have to get to a point where we're really doing our due diligence about making sure what we're listening to is a trusted source. Here, episode 68, you have 68 episodes, 75 plus hours of me speaking, not to mention the videos and things that I put out on TikTok, Instagram, right? Of consistent dialogue, consistent rhetoric about imploring empathy into the Black community, holding Black men accountable because we are men, and engaging in revolution.
Empathy and revolution don't go together, nigga. You can't be an empathetic revolutionary. It's either war or it's peace. If it's war, then you cut your feelings off. If it's peace, then, I'll allow myself to maybe feel bad for you. But you want empathetic revolutionaries, and that's why all your soldiers are kind of gay. Literally, I'm not even making a joke with that. You want empathetic revolutionaries, and is it a shock that your army is full of gay soldiers?
About imploring empathy into the black community,
Mm-hmm.
holding black men accountable because we are men,
Mm-hmm.
and engaging in revolution, which I have said the revolution is love. Once we start loving each other,
The revolution is love. Fat nigga wants a love-olution. All you need is love. All we need is love. The love-olution will not be televised.
I hold you accountable out of love, not out of hate. I'm trying to implore thought processes that make us better as men. If we are going to be in community, because in that
Where is the evidence that any of your thought process actually makes people better as men? Because so far it's all, vibes and feelings and a dose of male shaming. But where's the evidence that me being like pro-woman and pro-gay and pro-revolution, where is that supposed to make my life better?
community is women, is children, is transgender.
Whoa. Start that from the top.
Thought processes that make us better as men. If we are going to be in community, because in that community is women, is children, is transgender, is gay, is black people from all walks of life.
What the hell kind of community?
What black community? It's a black environment with black women and black children in it.
I don't want to live in that neighborhood, bro. That's a little sketchy to me. I know the schools in that neighborhood are terrible.
Or thought processes that make us better as men. If we are going to be in community, because in that community is women, is children, is transgender, is gay, is black people from all walks of life, every generation, every class. That's what I advocate for. A healthy black community, not just black men. There's enough of that. There's enough organizations centered around only black men. And
where are they? What organizations are centered around only black men? Well, let me correct that. What non-prison or jail-related organizations are only centered around black men? Because I know what you niggas is about to do. I know exactly what you niggas is about to do. What non-justice department, criminal life-oriented programs are not centered around black men? Because I'm dying to hear where all this male-censored culture exists. Like, before the manosphere was a thing, before niggas had live stream equipment, where could you get all this black male culture from?
And what are they doing to improve the community? Have we seen the fruit of that? We've seen it work on a religious level for some and change the lives of those men. But instead of going out into the community and
so religion, you have seen the power of religious transformation, right? Like Christianity and the NOI and such. Like, you have seen how that actually does benefit, huh? It's interesting. Still waiting for evidence on your benefits, but whatever.
imploring love and empathy, they're imploring an ideology that turns people off. I don't want to have to think like you.
He doesn't really sound all that empathetic when he talks to men, honestly. Now that I think about it, the more he talks about empathy, the less empathetic he sounds. He has zero empathy for the men he's trying to appeal to. It's a very odd position to take when you think about it.
But instead of going out into the community imploring love and empathy, they're imploring an ideology that turns people off. I don't want to have to think like you for me to receive love from you, for me to receive empathy from you, for me to be in community with you. We shouldn't think the same.
It's actually way better if the majority of the people in a community actually do think the same. Life is a lot easier when everybody in the neighborhood is on the same page. And shout out to Ancient Man with a $5 super chat. He says, I don't want my young nephews anywhere near this dude's neighborhood. Facts. Because like he just said, your nephews are of your tribe. You all relatively think the same. And I don't want them getting around in this fat, empathetic dude and coming around with, painted fingernails and questionable gender ideologies and whatnot. This is why it's better if we all do think the same. We don't really need certain things infiltrating our, peaceful Mayberry community. Shout out to an ancient man. Hit that like button, y'all. Support the show.
I need that money.
When it comes to ideology, the thought process should be we're all in the same community and we put ourselves first. Man, woman, child, LGBTQ, disabled, broke, rich, middle class.
How all these people gonna be of community together? You understand how retarded this whole thing is? This is a long list of people who don't ever want to live next to each other, by the way.
We're all in the same community and we put ourselves first.
How do we all put ourselves first? You understand the whole babble that this really boils down to? This is hungry hobabble. You're not you when you're hungry. Nigga wouldn't talk like this if you gave him a Snickers bar.
Man, woman, child, LGBTQ, disabled, broke, rich, middle class. All of it. But we have all these guardrails up. Even in the Bible,
broke, rich, middle class, right? Those are three separate communities off the rip right there. The broke don't live among the rich. They may work there occasionally. The middle class is running from the broke and desperately trying to join the rich. And if the men in the community are putting themselves first and the women in the community are putting themselves first, I gotta say it, man. What about the children? I guess the children are supposed to put themselves first too, right?
Bible. Let's go to the Bible. Go to Proverbs.
Oh, he about to whip out the Bible. I bet you he got his Bible from one of those downtown liberal churches with a 21-year-old dude in a sweater vest and like clear rim glasses talking about Jesus loves all his gay homies.
How is wisdom described? Wisdom is described in the Bible as a woman. So
I'm gonna need some biblical clarification. I'm gonna need a non-gone biblical explanation. I need Doc Thunder. Where's the Doc when you need him? Doc is probably at church right now. This is what I get for being a heathen on Sunday morning.
How is wisdom described?
Out here getting misled by savages who can read the Bible.
Class. All of it. But we have all these guardrails up. Even in the Bible, let's go to the Bible. Go to Proverbs. How is wisdom described? Wisdom is described in the Bible as a woman. So you could just argue with God about that. Hold God accountable.
Hold God accountable, you say? It's interesting.
But if man had to find out that his God was a woman,
I say the black woman is God, and
black woman is God.
I say the black woman is God.
The black woman is God because, she was the first organism on this planet.
Help me out here. When did God say that wisdom is a woman? I need chapter and verse. When did God say that wisdom is a woman?
As a woman. Go to Proverbs. How is wisdom described? Wisdom is described in the Bible as a woman. So you could just argue with God about that. Hold God accountable.
Bro, you just beat me to it. What about the first woman? I mean, what does the first woman count as wise? Was Eve a wise woman? Since we're getting all biblical with it, was Eve a wise woman? Did she have the wisdom that we all attribute to the women's? Because that right there would kind of throw the whole argument out the water, right? This is definitely some prison theology. He was just talking about jail niggas, and look at him now. He's jailhouse Christianity. Better put that woman first.
I understand being reluctant to media. I understand being reluctant to black media because we got things that we call media, which is really propaganda. Shade Room, Zeus Network, clear propaganda, clearly reinforcing harmful and negative stereotypes about black Americans specifically. But it's run by the Nigerians. Goddamn Nigerians.
Goddamn scammers.
Goddamn Nigerian scammers always get us. God damn it. God damn it. They get us every time. The Nigerians got our number.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's your boy. I don't know if he's grits or eggs or which one he is, but that's the Grits and Eggs podcast, dude. And of course, there's something weird about this new wave of black male podcasters. You guys are very LGBT friendly. You're so LGBT friendly, it makes everyone else uncomfortable how friendly you are with this whole crowd.
If you could switch places with any celebrity, who would it be?
Like I said, Young and me. I'll switch places with her because I know she get all the bitches. I'm a stud. I already know. I know she had like a pack. And guess what?
We're gonna title this clip "Stud Appreciation" because nothing says pro-black like stud appreciation.
What, Pat? We from the same city too. I'm from Pontiac, Michigan.
No, no way.
Swear to God.
Now I gotta
God,
show you love. You a real stud.
When I was like talk to dudes, I either be saying I'm a honorable nigga or I'd be like I'm a gold star stud. Swear to God.
It's crazy. What constitutes as a gold star stud though?
So I ain't never been touched by a nigga, ain't never been kissed by a nigga, nothing.
I
ain't even used to eat my applesauces with spoons because that's how legit I was again.
What does she do? Just lick it right out of the little cup? What do you mean you don't eat your applesauce with a spoon? You just like just right out of the cup? What do you mean? You just rip the little plastic cap off and you just go to town on the little kitty cup of applesauce? How do you what? I'm so confused. I'm tempted to find this girl and buy her some applesauce, you know? Show me. What do you mean you don't even use a spoon to eat your... You see, I have never known... Because I guess maybe it's because, you know, it's girl gay culture is a little bit further away from me. But I didn't realize there was an element of girl gay culture that she was speaking to. Like, I am so untouched. I don't even put a spoon in my applesauce. Like, I had to think about that when I first heard it. Like, what are you trying to imply? Like, oh, the spoon is like a, you know, oh, wow.
The gold star stud, though.
So I ain't never been touched by a nigga, ain't never been kissed by a nigga, nothing. I ain't even used to eat my applesauces with spoons because that's how legit I was again.
Real.
You ever know what stud stood for?
No.
What does it stand for?
Still titties under the shirt. What are we talking about? What are you talking about? And then, yeah, when I'm on my period, I'm the hardest nigga. Like, I do thug keeps and shit. You know, I don't let that shit bother me. What you talking about? Me and them cracks be beefing.
There's something that's just unsettling to me about allowing studs into male culture. I have a hard time with that. It's like 5 dudes in a room and a stud. And literally, one of these niggas is not like the other. Can you guess which one? There's just something really uncanny valley about the whole stud and the men's circle thing. And it's not the stud's fault You are already a confused individual. You were confused when we found you. It is not your fault that you just stumbled into this place here. I blame the men. I blame the men. Why are you comfortable like this? This is literally like that game of Among Us. Like there's an imposter. One of these people is an imposter, and we have to figure out which one. Like they got studs in the gang now. It's crazy, man. Tell you, man, things just ain't the same for gangsters, bro. That's why I drive trucks and do podcasts, man. Y'all niggas weird out in the street.
With each other, I don't even use no tampons. Straight pad in this bitch. I just use a pad. I'm still clean though. Still clean though. No.
You have a good one.
You too.
All
You
right.
too.
Oh my God.
Nah.
She's still
A gold star stud.
No.
You have a good one.
You too.
All
You
right.
too.
Oh my God.
Nah.
she still got factory pussy. Like,
Now, as men, why be supportive of such a thing? That's like a woman saying that I have completely excised your entire existence, right? I have completely removed all male necessity from my life. And as men, they're like, high five, sister. Right on. More power to you. Like, why would you be, as men, why would you support that? My whole position with that kind of thing is like, bye. Whatever will we do without you? But, these new niggas, man, it's this new generation. It's the new podcast bros, bro. These new podcast bros, they not like the old podcast bros, man.
I don't think there's an agenda out there to feminize black men. I just think that there's more acceptance and space for men that are actually want to perform femininity for them to be who themselves is. Because think about it, man. I don't give a damn how much you put homosexuality in front of me. There's particular things I'm just not going to do. You know what I'm saying? But I still think that people should always have that space to be able to, express themselves the way they express themselves, especially if they ain't encroaching on nobody else unable rights, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. You feel me? I think that it's also weird for a lot of heterosexual people to be too.
If they're putting it right in front of you, it does start to become an encroachment. Like, there is no straight pride parade. Like, straight people aren't marching down the street simulating sex acts, right? We're not making babies in public.
Concerned about what other people is doing, especially if you think they're gay. You know what I'm saying? And make it come off, it's like our heterosexual lives are just so boring that we gotta be always already consuming what they doing. You feel me? And I think that is the heteronormative hypocrisy. You know what I'm saying? We talk a lot about the gay agenda, but we don't really talk about their institutions, organizations, and systems that literally by default only allow for heterosexual people to come in and literally exclude individuals that are not heterosexual.
And don't gay clubs do that in reverse, though? Don't you guys have your own exclusionary cultures and policies and whatnot? And shout out to the Midwest Request with that $2 super chat. He says, imagine complimenting a car salesman on his cars. Thank you. Thank you. Like, I don't understand why men support studs, especially. Like, lesbianism is one thing. It's not, it's not good. I'm not saying that's a good thing, but lesbianism in and of itself is one thing. Because, if you say lesbian and then you say stud, you immediately associate the lesbian with, a feminine type of woman. She just likes to do a little vacuuming and every now and then, right? But a stud is literally a chick that wants to be a dude and then gets offended and claims feminine privilege when she gets punched in the face. I've seen it so many times. Soon as you get punched in the mouth, oh, that's a girl. Why would you hit a girl?
You know what I'm saying? So when we start talking about the ways in which people are having their sexuality pushed on you or pushing sexuality on this, that, and the other, really think about how power and domination really fits in that, and think about how there are particular orientations or particular desires that you see as being cool and default, and others you see as always already being abnormal and pathological. Research over me search and education is elevation, man.
I noticed there's a particular theme to this style of delivery. They can't just lay out a basic step-by-step logical argument. Like when you're on the right wing, there's a habit that you form where you build your argumentation from the ground up. If then that. If that, then this, right? If A, then B. If B, then C. If C, then D, right? You build up a chain to your argumentation so that it all flows together to get to an endpoint, to an honest conclusion. What these guys do is set up like bullet points in your mind and then try to emotionally massage the points so that you can kind of connect them in your mind together, but they can never actually just point by point walk you through a simple argument. Like the whole gay agenda thing is a great example of that. It all boils down to just, you should feel empathy for these people, therefore let them dance naked in front of your children.
Only women can have babies. End the discussion. Can we all agree to disagree respectfully? Hell no, we can't agree to disagree respectfully when it comes to somebody else's humanity and existence. Whether we like to acknowledge it or not, trans men exist. These trans men.
But trans men are literally women.
Have uteruses, they still experience periods, and they can have babies. Now, I'm about to make a statement that's about to mess a lot of y'all heads up because a lot of y'all don't know the difference between sex and gender.
Now, as men, as black men of this so-called community that the grits nigga was talking about, why does supporting this benefit me or the community that I want to live in? This seems like it would just add an extra layer of community confusion at best.
Here's my homeboy Caden. He's been pregnant twice and has 2 children.
A sentence I will never ever say in life. I won't even repeat his words because I don't want to break the curse.
Gender. Here's my homeboy Caden. He's been pregnant twice and has 2 children. Here's a gender. Here's my homeboy Caden. He's been pregnant twice and has 2 children.
I don't even think my mouth can formulate that type of sentence. Like the way my body constructed, I can't talk like that. For real, it's just the way my physiology is established. I can't say words like that, bro.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy.
Here's a great educational resource right here about navigating pregnancy care as a transgender man. Here's another picture of 2 queer men, one of them being trans and pregnant.
His other homies. Why all your homies? All your niggas have babies and all my niggas Nazi, nigga. We are not the same. We are definitely built different, bro. All your niggas get pregnant. All my niggas Nazis, nigga. This is not gonna work out, bro. This is not gonna work.
Probably could have put this part earlier in the video, but this is how I know a lot of y'all be disingenuous. You're willing to try to trivialize the existence of trans people around giving birth when there's an actual story that needs to be given birth to, because this black woman who is being kept alive because of the abortion ban is happening. That's letting you know right now. Did the trans people, trans men and trans women, did they pass the abortion bans that's allowing for women to be targeted? No. Can we also acknowledge that trans men like Kate?
I don't understand anything he just said. All I know is there's a baby that we're trying to keep alive. And he doesn't want the baby to be alive because trans men. Anyway, it's confusing, so confusing. There's a lot of confusion in these clips. Don't blame yourself. Just push through.
Are also impacted when it comes to regulations around giving birth. Have you ever thought about trans people only being 1% of our general population, and how billionaires are also 1% of our general population, but somehow we blame trans people for more of the ills and woes in our community and in our world than we do billion?
That's this smart nigga deep thought face. He has deep thoughts about transgender pregnancy. This is why niggas ain't gonna ever make it to the moon. You know, for the white man been having deep thoughts about philosophical concepts, you know, the moon, the sun, freedom, justice. What's at the bottom of the ocean? The precession of the equinoxes. You know, white guys have been contemplating heavy stuff for a long time. And this nigga's deep contemplation face is about transgender pregnancy. And he's not the only one. This is what Black IQ is harnessed for. This is why a lot of these niggas go to school, so they can focus their intellectual capacity on the problems of transgender pregnancy. I'm telling you, Elon Musk is going to Mars and he's leaving most niggas behind. And I don't blame him.
Mother's Day just passed, and no mother said they lost shine because trans men exist. It should piss y'all off that she's more likely to use her platform to talk shit about how trans folks can't have birth than to talk about how women are actually being targeted for giving birth. Think about it. This black woman has just given birth, and instead of talking about how her other fellow black women are being targeted for research,
those aren't fellow black women. They are merely fellows. That fella ain't a fellow black woman. See, that's the problem right there. You're blending all the important lines of reality and reason here. And this also ties into why the left wing is having a problem attracting or maintaining male support. You don't even believe women can have babies anymore. You think there's a big club full of different kinds of people who can have babies. No, I'm sorry. If you're an adult human female, you're it. You're the people who make the people.
Sources and accessibility to healthcare when it comes to giving birth, she's more likely to use her platform to trivialize how women are the only people to give birth. If these group of 8 trans men walked into the women's bathroom, it would be issues. All trans men ain't straight either. Some of them are gay, like my homeboy Caden.
I don't even know what these words mean. He says some trans men are gay. And look at the goofy smile he has, the joy he has contemplating these things. This is what I mean about the weird direction, the weird focus of black intellectual capacity. Like, allegedly, you's a smart nigga, right? You a teacher or something. And this is what excites you intellectually? He's trans and he's also gay.
Choose. All trans men ain't straight either. Some of them are gay, like my homeboy Caden.
Nigga really cake smile like a bitch, bro. That's the cake smile little goofy bitches do when they trying to be cute. My trans friend is pregnant. Oh my God. Oh my God. And this is what guys are supposed to follow. What's a guy even anyway in this type of culture? What is even a man in this type of culture?
I'm laughing because I made a video in 2023 about Caden and me talking about him being trans and gay, and it's still folks to this day trying to wrap their head around it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's literally unfathomable. This is straight up sending the meteor, Sodom, Gomorrah, and your house. All right, those 3 places. All right, we hit Sodom, we hit Gomorrah. Might as well hit your house now too, bro.
Conclusion though, education is elevation. All you need is a uterus to have a child. Trans men are men, and trans men have uteruses. Hope that helps.
Because a uterus is part of the female anatomy, right? A uterus is definitely a part of the female anatomy, right? Like a dude can't just get a uterus from Home Depot, right? God, don't give them that idea. They're going to start that in the future. Going to get a used cadaver uterus. They're literally working on that right now. We talked about that a couple of months back. I broke the story here. They're working on cadaver uterus implants for transgender pregnancies. Yeah. Man-made horrors beyond your comprehension.
Hayden Coleman reveals he's pregnant with his second child. He's pregnant with his second child. Look at this picture. Look at these pictures. If y'all seen him on the streets.
Now, is it when this is the type of stuff that Black culture is sliding into, is it any surprise that you have Black men who are reacting to this by saying, and I quote, all my niggas, Nazi nigga, hell Hitler? Like, that's literally the cultural response to this type of thing, right? We've seen it before. It's playing out now. Why do you suppose so many Black men are just recoiling? Niggas learning German as we speak. Ich bin ein.
You would not approach him like a woman. This is a birthing person. You see what I'm saying? Here's the thing about reality. Whether you like it or not, it still exists. Whether you disagree with it or not, it still exists. When we say birthing person and mother, it's not erasing women had childs. It's not erasing women have babies. It's not erasing women get pregnant and have babies.
Bro, you erasing Mother Nature. You literally erasing Mother Nature, an entire concept of a natural function. The Midwest Request with the $2 super chat says, it's like we're pregnant together, face ass. Oh God. Oh. Dark thoughts, bro. Dark thoughts.
Nigga, please. Serious.
Yeah, literally diabolical, bro. Literally.
And have births, it's also acknowledging that there are other people that also have it. You see what I'm saying? Man he got grow more facial hairs than me. You see what I'm saying? Like what?
Why is this an absolute must for the Black progressive movement? Why is it that you cannot be Black and left wing without believing that a woman is whatever they say they are? Why do you have to absolutely accept this idea and all of its extreme conclusions? I need someone like him to explain to me without using, leading shaming language like, aren't you just a good person? That's what a good person would do, right? No, explain to me the logical links in the chain between progressivism and supporting transgenderism.
What I'm really annoyed with a lot of y'all at this point. You see what I'm saying? And this the homie too, if y'all didn't know. You should go follow them on their page so you can learn more about birthing people and how they are fathering kids. You see what I'm saying?
Are you mothering or fathering?
Hayden Coleman reveals he's pregnant.
Because birthing sounds like a motherly act. How can you fatherly birth? How can you give fatherly birth? As a father, how can you birth fatherly? Like where does it even come from? Fatherly, like the fatherly way. Where does it even come out of? Like, how, bro? How, Sway? Why is it that in order for me to properly be left wing and Black, I have to be down with the rainbow swirl?
The beginning of June, and in my attempt to call in and not call out, I want to remind my fellow straight people a couple of things. First thing, gay folks do not want our kids. As a matter of fact, a lot of them can't stand our kids more than we can't stand our kids.
We already saw the "they're coming for your children" thing. Do we have to play the "coming for your children" video? Let me see how easy it is to pull up. Let me see if I can pull that up really quickly. Is it still at the top of the search bar? It's still at the top of the search bar. Pride Month flashback. Yes. Yes, yes.
We're coming for your children.
They literally made a song about it, dude. What are you trying to tell me? Gonna look me in my face and tell me it's not gay outside. Nah, bro, they literally made a song about it.
Call in and not call out. I want to remind my fellow straight people a couple of things. First thing, gay folks do not want our kids. As a matter of fact, a lot of them can't stand our kids more than we can't stand our kids, and that's just something we should keep in mind. Second thing, though a lot of the white people are very represented and centered within Pride Month, it actually started with a black trans woman by the name of Marsha P. Johnson and this Latino trans woman by the...
So I've been pointing out this subtle association for a long time now. But if you just read between the lines, just lift up the skirt, you'll see the truth. Heterosexuality is white male culture, and homosexuality is non-white. So basically, it is a white thing to do to be straight and patriarchal.
You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Thing, though a lot of the white people are very represented and centered within Pride Month, it actually started with a black trans woman by the name of Marsha P. Johnson and this Latino trans woman by the name of Sylvia Rivera. Third thing is, you want to know what?
Nah, Bandit. Listen, nah, my white friend. You don't get off the hook that easy. You got to share the Pride Month with us, all right, damn it. You have to share the Pride Month with the blacks, Bandit. That's the responsible, progressive, white thing to do. Hey, listen, I thought it was a white thing too, bro. But nope. Apparently it's a black thing, but you're not off the hook. You still got to share. You got to get you a little handful.
What happened? These two women said they were sick and tired of being sick and tired when it came to police brutality, because you know how New York was in the 1970s, and one of them threw a brick. Some historians say it was Sylvia. Some of them say it was Marsha. We don't.
Oh, those were men. You're talking about Stonewall, transgenders. Those was a bunch of dudes. It's a bunch of gay dudes. He really said black women. I had to read deeply between the lines. Like I said, sometimes you got to read between the lines and look under the skirt and find out the truth. He's talking about men.
When it came to police brutality, because you know how New York was. Women.
That was the Stonewall.
Sylvia.
He's talking about the Stonewall riots, right? Those were dudes. I don't think there was one actual chick in the Stonewall riot.
Trans woman by the name of Marsha P. Johnson and this Latino trans woman by the name of Sylvia Rivera. Third thing is, you want to know what happened? These two women said they were sick and tired of being sick and tired when it came to police brutality, because you know how New York was in the 1970s, and one of them threw a brick. Some historians say it was Sylvia. Some of them say it was Marsha. We don't know. It's debate. The third thing is being able to acknowledge the obvious. All of our struggles are tied by the same institutions and systems, and we should always be in solidarity when it comes to pushing against them. We're going to get them a photo. Even though they can't stand our kids, they see we've been struggling and helping them get to reading level. So they decided to make reading fun and go to the library dressed up. And the biggest thing we was worried about is them being in the classroom.
Oh, yeah, because it takes transgenders to help the kids learn to read. The transgenders are going to boost those black literacy rates any day now. We should bring some transgenders to like the Chicago inner city public schools and just have the whole English department, just turn the whole English department over to the transgender reading team. Yeah, I promise it'll work. I don't know how, but I believe. If you believe and I believe, these kids will learn to read.
Not what our kids was learning in the classroom. 15, a lot of us black straight people have been led to believe that the gay community has been stealing all the advancements. They've been getting all the policies. They've been getting all the opportunities. Meanwhile, we ignoring how, like damn near over 500 anti-gay, anti-trans bills towards the kids, you feel me, was slid right up under our nose. Takes me to the...
I want to point out again the connection between heterosexual culture and white people, white men specifically. it's specifically white men who are behind these laws. They have women on their side, but it's the white men, you know, like Governor DeSantis in Florida. Hell, you even got President Trump right now, you know, because your option was a black woman or a white man, and now you have the white man and the president in the White House as God intended, I think. Anyway, you have the white man in the White House, but he's now like, nah, y'all been going too far with all this LGBT stuff. Let me take some of your gay rights away.
16. I know a lot of us like to think about the gay community and the black community as being separate, but that always.
I feel like Tim Walz is about to get disowned from the white community any day now.
Crazy racist, the black gay people and black trans people and black intersex people and non-gender. You see what I'm saying? It's you forgetting our own people in there. Number 7, we talk a lot about the gay agenda and how it's trying to feminize our kids and trans our kids and make our kids all type of gay and things like that. But we never think about who's manufacturing this old narrative and who benefits the most. I guarantee you it's not us. Number 8, y'all know Huey P. Newton, one of the co-founders of the Black Panther Party, once gave this speech about homosexual and women's liberation. And
I think Huey P. Newton was in the closet, bro. I don't have, like, you know, firsthand evidence, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't there. But I put a big question mark on a lot of things now.
he talked about how oppressed gay people was. Y'all should go check that speech out. Number 9, a lot of us believe that being gay is a choice, but think about the individuals that have been kicked out of their family. The individual that deal with this type of ideation of unaliving themselves, all because they struggling with their identity and who they really is, quote unquote. And we say that they choose it. That's crazy to me. Number 10, my last point. If some of us ain't free, then none of us ain't free. And I hope that some of these points make you realize that everybody that's gonna be celebrating.
Free from what? From straight white men? You want to be free from heterosexuality?
You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall.
Well, you are whatever your daddy is. The kid is whatever their daddy is a bad argument, and it always has been. As a matter of fact, ask the enslaved women that had babies as a product of the slave master assaulting them. Ask what their kids was. When we start talking about people being...
Let me answer this question in the chat. Bandit says, where is the line in the sand where we say as a society enough is enough? I'm not sure how to approach that answer because I don't know. I suppose we like to think that things just sort of happen, you know, like in the movies. One day people just have enough and they decide to say no. I don't know if that's really real. I do think it kind of takes a bit of organization. It takes some leadership. It takes some guile. It takes some money. It takes some planning. I don't know that the revolution ever just manifested itself. I think that was an illusion created by the revolutionaries. That's why there's so much energy put on suppressing the right wing, while at the same time allowing for infinite left-wing networks to populate the landscape. You actually do need a grassroots groundswell of momentum, and that momentum will lead to like organizational changes and different behaviors. You'll start to create a culture unto itself. And the right wing has definitely been, you know, under the boot. It's definitely been getting suppressed in that way, because that kind of thing would have happened a long time ago.
And biracial, why do we always sensational?
You know what? Speaking of that kind of thing, that's literally why when we talked about woke civil rights the other day, the thumbnail for that picture was from integration, where they had to integrate at gunpoint. That's when it really became crystal clear. Like, no, you will not be allowed to organize and discuss and stand up on your principles the way the left wing will.
Lies, people having a white mother and us being able to tell. You know, they always said papa's maybe, mama's baby. You know why they said that? Why do y'all buy into these old European ideas of patriarchy that makes you believe that you are whatever your daddy is when the whole time Europeans didn't believe that shit either?
Because my daddy built this shit. And when he dies, it belongs to me now. That's as simple as the principle I can make it for you. That's as simple as the concept gets, right? If you happen to be, if you're lucky enough to be the son of a man who's done anything of note, his achievements get attached to your name. And you start out with just a slight advantage over someone who has, you know, whose father did less or nothing. There is nothing like that in the matriarchal world, right? As a man, you don't really get any masculine credibility because, you know, your mom had some money. Because more than likely your mom had some money because she, you know, just blowing a rich guy, right? It always goes back to some dude. It's not like she really went out there and slayed a dragon and ran away with his gold, right? That's the behavior of like heroic, masculine, slightly psychopathic men.
Said papa's maybe, mama's baby. You know why they said that? Why do y'all buy into these old European ideas of patriarchy that makes you believe that you are whatever your daddy is when the whole time Europeans didn't believe that shit either? You know, a lot of white women joined the abolition movement because they felt like slavery was breaking up the family, because they couldn't keep their husband from sliding to that outhouse and taking advantage of the enslaved women, of his property. So you know what they would do? In certain states, they had to pass laws to say, hey, white women, you can.
You know what's this little video feels like? A campfire boogeyman tale. Hey children, hey children. And I just noticed there's a weird camera angle going on. This whole thing is very sus. This whole camera choosing, this is a very sus camera positioning. Now that I just noticed how this whole thing looks. But anyway, like I said, this whole thing has the feeling of like a campfire scary story. Gather around, children. I was going to tell you about how the slave master used to creep out of his big white mansion that night and wander on through the cornfields down till he got himself to his favorite gal's slave shack and have his way with that slave gal. Yes, he did. Yes, I tell you. Ooh.
It's a patriarchy that makes you believe that you are whatever your daddy is when the whole time Europeans didn't believe that shit either. You know, a lot of white women joined the abolition movement because they felt like slavery was breaking up the family, because they couldn't keep their husband from sliding to that outhouse and taking advantage of the enslaved women, of his property. So you know what they would do? In certain states, they had to pass laws to say, hey, white women, you cannot beat to death your slaves, because they was doing it out of resentment and out of hurt, because this enslaved child looked just like my husband. You all.
Women are cruel, bro. All women are like that.
What your daddy is. Man, critical thinking would have saved you from making that badass argument. You feel me? I don't know if it's the Hebrew Israelites that's saying it. I don't know if it's because you come from an old school way.
Damn, you got beef with the Hebrew Israelites? So you got beef with all of the right-wing black male culture in all of its forms, right? That's wild.
What the Bible is, but listen, man. The womb you come out, your mother, the way you have been birthed into the world, always dictates much more of your social location and the way that you get access and resources way more than your father does.
That's because your mom is on welfare and she won't let you have a dad. That's the only reason that's true in America. Your mom has more freedom working with welfare than she does working with your daddy.
An old school way of thinking what the Bible is, but listen, man. The womb you come out, Your mother, the way you have been birthed into the world, always dictates much more of your social location and the way that you get access and resources way more than your father does.
Nah, Bandit. I guess niggas don't believe in a family tree. Just a series of bushes. Just bush after bush after bush. There's no trees in the community. Have you noticed there's not a lot of trees in the community, bro? Niggas don't believe in a family tree. They just got bushes.
You just engagement farming. Man, I was already turning crops over on this old content farm before I even mentioned something about y'all. You feel me? Motherfucker gonna piss me off on Twitter. I'm talking about I'm ready to illustrate the reason why I'm a Hall of Fame college policy debater. I'm trying to have set speech times too. I don't want no yelling over nobody. When you talking, I ain't gonna speak over you, I ain't gonna speak to you. When you talk, when I'm talking, I ask for the same thing. You feel me? Which one of you FBA warriors want it, man? I'm talking about I got time. I'm a proud descendant of African slaves. I was born here in America, goddamn. My people raised the land here in America, but I do not agree with the ideology of FBA. You feel me? I think they are, as a matter of fact, my argument is FBA is white nationalism and blackface. You feel me? And my link argument to be able to make that is they pick up on shit like the great replacement theory that was manufactured by white supremacists saying the illegals is coming to replace us.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is the part I wanted to jump in on because I'm not even really big with Team FBA, Team ADOS. I don't really care to insult it. I nominally support the idea for this reason, though. Because whether it's FBA, Foundational Black Americans, or ADOS, the American Descendants of Slavery, either one is a nativist Black American approach to patriotism. And although it's flawed in some ways, I appreciate that it's still Black Americans starting from the bottom up, building a patriotism of their own that's uniquely American as well. Now, beyond that, it gets a bit weird because they're still leftist and communist and Marxist and all that under that umbrella. But it's a start. I like that concept as an eggshell, an egg of a concept, right? But beyond that, you know, you niggas is crazy. That very concept of a unique Black identity from a Black American identity, it actually threatens the Pan-African Black unity, the global struggle, because apparently all you niggas is suffering.
How come y'all never got this beef towards the individuals that's giving the illegals, quote unquote, your job?
Shout out to all the American descendants of slave owners out there. Some of us would rather celebrate the wins over the losses. I don't know where you got the culture of celebrating the losses from, but, you know, shout out to those guys.
Remember when Kevin Samuels said you want a high-value man, but you bring used vagina in a hard-headed attitude? Remember when he said that? How about this one? Your attitude is more masculine than his. If you disagree with this, you definitely simping. Don't let me catch you pandering, because who would disagree with this? You broke, overweight, got 3 kids, and you think a man should worship you? Be real. Oh, this is a good one right here. You yell like a man, fight like a man, talk like a man, but you want a man to treat you like a lady? When you think about it, that man really opened up the alt-right pipeline. They got a lot of people in our community, especially Black men and Black boys, really, I'm saying, capitulating towards conservative ideology when it comes to gender and saying, hey, woman, the reason why I ain't where I want to be at because your ass don't know your place. You feel me? You want a high-value man, you need to act like a lady. Act like you are not being submissive and you being hard-headed with an attitude. That's the reason why we got to make sure these bitches get down. That's what I'll be hearing a lot of y'all talk about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, of course he hates Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels gave you niggas the audacity to think you deserve what the white man deserves. What I keep telling y'all, man, you're gonna respect me like you respect the white man, and we're gonna have to move some furniture around in here, man.
You niggas then bought into this white supremacist idea of xenophobic as if they ain't gonna turn that xenophobia back on your Black ass. If we keep on bragging about how 92% of black people voted against Donald Trump and he views anybody that opposes him as the enemy, why don't y'all think it's a threat when he says he's going to deport the enemy within? When Donald Trump says he's going to deport homegrown criminals, the 13th Amendment says the United States federal government shall not prohibit slavery except for punishment convicted of crime. It is not ironic that the descendants of slaves are most likely to find themselves a victim of being convicted of a crime. When he says he's going to start with the homegrown criminals, that notion is indicative of the black experience. There is no way to talk about homegrown criminals in America, especially from a conservative, without thinking that it implicates black existence, black experience, black freedom. That's my argument. My argument.
That's his argument. Donald Trump is going to deport you niggas.
This makes Jim Crow look like Jim Eagle.
A victim of being convicted of a crime. When he says he's going to start with the homegrown criminals, that notion is indicative of the black experience. There is no way to talk about homegrown criminals in America.
Did he just call black people criminals though? Did he just literally say being a homegrown criminal is indicative of the black experience in America? Now, if a white person were to say, you know, 1350, then all of a sudden he gonna be like, most black people don't even commit crimes. What you mean 1350? What you trying to say?
Especially from a conservative, without thinking that it implicates black existence, black experience, black freedom. That's my argument. My argument is, and you know, you niggas then bought into this white supremacist idea of xenophobic as if they ain't gonna turn that xenophobia back on your black ass.
Now, Black Americans, native Black Americans, you know, the FBA ADOS type of crowd he talking about, we're not supposed to want to defend our square against all comers because that makes us just like the white man. Putting locks on your doors makes you just like the white man. Looking after your own children before the kids down the block makes you just like the white man.
And I want to understand white rage, and I'm white.
Right now, I wanted to, for everybody that's watching, when I made the overall arching argument about how FBA is white nationalism and blackface, listen to the way he talked about genocide. The speaking point that he gets that from about abortion, that literally comes from white nationalists hijacking abolitionist movements and literally correlating abortion to slavery. But just like the white supremacists that care so much about abortion being bad, but they ain't got no energy for after the child meets the womb. When I asked Joe in cross-sex, hey Joe,
why do progressives naturally believe that a child is like the responsibility of the world or something? Why is that always the automatic go-to, that everybody but the mother and father are automatically responsible for the child? Like, if you don't let me murder this thing, then you have to feed me and this thing forever. Those are the rules. You gotta walk me through that logic. Like, who was feeding the babies before the government? Did all the babies just like not make it?
Right now, I wanted to, for everybody that's watching, when I made the overall arching argument about how FBA is white nationalism and blackface, listen to the way he talked about genocide. The speaking point that he gets that from about abortion, that literally comes from white nationalists hijacking abolitionist movements and literally correlating abortion to slavery. But just like the white supremacists that care so much about abortion being bad, but they ain't got no energy for after the child meets the womb. When I asked Joe in cross-sex, hey Joe, can you name a specific law that impacts black women giving black women how to give children? He said no. He said no. This illustrates how they care way more about fighting against illegals than they care about advocating for black women. You feel me?
Why should advocating for black women be at the top of a black man's priority agenda? Because if I look around, I don't see anybody else advocating for black men, right? It's not like, oh, the Mexicans got it, you know, shout out to Pablo and them, you know, I'm gonna go handle this work over here. You know, Pablo and them got me, right? It's not like the Asians got it. You know what I mean? Chin and Wong and Lin and them, they're not looking out for the black man's interest. They got their own interest to worry about. They got their own noodles to boil. But as soon as I have my own interest to worry about, no, you have to put that woman first. I'm going to beat this shit out of Jaheim when I find him. I swear to God, me and Jaheim got beef. Personal, epic, Peter and the chicken style beef, all right? Jaheim, when I see you, it's up, nigga. Put that woman first. You know how much damage you done did with that bull?
They care way more. I'm talking about, what does it mean to identify how many children, you know what I'm saying, die in abortion, which is like abortion is not genocide. Let's be clear on that. You see what I'm saying? But literally make the same argument that they make on Fox News, alt-right, David Duke saying that this thing is that. It's like that reflects the argument. Third thing is the fact that it was the last 30 seconds of his speech illustrates how FBA cares more about they anti-illegal bullshit than they care about black people. It took him the last 30 seconds of his speech, 4.5 minutes, to start talking about Donald Trump saying he wanted to deport the enemy within and deport starting with the homegrown criminals. When Donald Trump says he wants to deport homegrown criminals, aren't black people 5-6 times more likely of finding ourselves convicted of crime? Which means,
yeah, but that's like you got weed in your pocket. Some dude was selling a pack on the corner and he got caught. You're not going to Guatemala because you got a dope case, bro. That's not how that works. Now, if you're riding around with like 4 heads in the trunk, we might think, you know, maybe you're one of those guys we should send to that place with the people who do that kind of stuff.
Means we are more likely to be criminalized. So when he says he's going to deport the enemy within, how come y'all being so lost in the sauce of anti-illegal immigration propaganda that y'all don't see? Hey, man, we are black people. We are already disproportionately impacted by everything. So when he started talking about overturning the 14th Amendment, and also too into that, how much time I got? 3 minutes. His response to me talking about how Trump administration is trying to overturn birthright citizenship is non-responsive to how I'm saying it's going to impact the black experience. Donald Trump and the administration has been lying through their goddamn teeth from.
There is no universal black experience, though. Especially when it comes to something like the criminal justice system. You know, we don't all have the same experience, bro. All y'all wasn't in jail with me. All y'all niggas wasn't shooting at the gym.
The campaign all the way through now. So if anybody in FBA is being disingenuous and believes that we should take the Trump administration's words for what they said, you are being gullible. The Trump administration has lied so much about the way in which they're going to pass laws and this. And then also this right here. To people like Nick that wants to claim how FBA voted for Kamala Harris. I seen more people in FBA. I seen more people of FBA talking shit about Kamala Harris being a tether and saying, what's Ricky she say? Man, this Trump kind of growing on me. What are you gonna do with the illegals? So this is what I want to say right here.
Oh, you got beef with Tariq. That's good. You and Tariq gonna fight it out one day, and we're gonna do some content on that too. But Kamala's not black. Kamala, she's not even what you would call a negrito, technically. She's nothing like black. She's nominally dark-skinned. Because Indian black isn't African black. Just because the black Indians maybe get dark-skinned, it doesn't mean that they're connected to black Africans. That's a whole other genetic line that comes from some other genetic thing. See, yeah, I'm not gonna go through that whole out of Africa thing with you niggas, but no. Them niggas over there, they not like us, bro. Them Indians, they not like us. But yeah, it's a lot of drama with this FBA stuff, man. And we got a lot of new left-wing content creators popping up.
You know what? I say FBA were right. Delineation is the only answer right now. They were right. Black Americans need to separate themselves. Caribbeans need to separate themselves. Everyone needs to separate themselves. Africans need to separate themselves. If we're not stronger, we together, I don't know. I don't care.
Go home.
If they're gonna pick us out one by whatever it is,
Yeah, go home, Roger.
Listen, if I'm going to be destroyed, let me be destroyed with my small community of people that I trust, that I know trust me back.
Yeah, go home,
I'm saying this because I noticed, right, the last couple of days, like last couple of weeks, I've been going back and I've been fighting this. I've been trying to fight this, but it's like, you can come and say it.
Let's address the question in the chat. Midwest Request says, so American blacks are superior blacks, Hood. Only in the way that I believe my children are superior children to anyone else's children, if that makes sense to you. It has nothing to do with a logical, rational quantification of you know, attributes and qualities. We're not doing a created player on a, you know, live or whatever. It's not like that. It's just, I love my people and I don't really care for other people as much as I love my people. My people are the shit. I don't know what you guys are up to outside of this house though.
It's bots, right? But no, it's not. And I mean, the last couple of days, I've been people that I know, people that follow me, black women, black men, have been out of nowhere coming out. Oh, delineation is needed. Delineation. We need. Don't talk about Black America. Don't talk about this. I get it. I'm going to stick to my place. I'm going to know my place. I'm going to stick to primarily African topics, and that's it. That's it. I'm not FBA. I apologize. You guys were right. Simple. Just, I will stay out of anything Black American. Don't ever, I mean, everyone, if you follow me because you thought I was Black Unity, fuck you, get away. We're done. No Black Unity anymore. I can't keep.
Him feelings hurt. Him feelings hurt.
Hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad.
This is about targeting women of color in the United States of America. Don't tell me, because I didn't get a single apology.
Time has expired.
My life was threatened. Thank you.
Hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad, hoes mad.
It's Team America, bro. I don't know what to tell you, man. It's Team America. All men must choose, bro.
I will stay out of anything Black American. Don't ever, I mean, everyone, if you follow me because you thought I was Black Unity, fuck you, get away. We're done. No Black Unity anymore. I can't keep doing something and watching people actively working against it, who you're supposed to be helping, who you're supposed to be.
Who, me? I know he's not talking to me, but I feel like he's talking to me, though.
Part of the who's, I can't. So unfollow me. I don't care. I don't do this for money. I don't make money. This is just content that I do because I do it. So fuck you, fuck your mother, unfollow me. Maybe that'll make sense for you now. I don't, this makes no sense. Makes no sense that I'll see a video.
You wouldn't understand because you're really not from here. That's the only way I can explain it to you. It's like in not care. I'm not care. Oh no. This is like in I think it was in Boys in the Hood. Was it Boys in the Hood at the very end where Ice Cube had that little monologue? It was a soliloquy where he was like, if you ain't from the hood, don't ever come to the hood, because you wouldn't understand the hood. So stay the fuck out the hood. That's really how it is, bro. Like, it's more of a feeling. It's a vibe check, bro. And you just can't check the vibe.
I'll make a video about how Black people need to take back construction, and I'm getting attacked by everyone. You're not Black American. Shut the fuck. What?
Yeah.
Now my conversation is.
Yeah. It's a vibe, bro. I know it's unfortunate. I know you maybe didn't expect it to be this way. You thought, yeah, I love all of you niggas together. Nah, we don't love all of y'all niggas though. Nah. We have pressing agenda issues, and loving all of y'all together equally, it's just getting in the way. You're messing up the money. You really are. Sorry, man. Bye, Roger.
It's how we need to find a way to get the Africans here. So we need to get jobs that nobody's taking. So
see, look, get the African. You see, we need to get the African. No, bro, no. Listen, you know how big Africa is? They have so much to do. They have so much work to do. Why do we have to get them over here? Let them be great, bro. They were already great over there. Riding electrified rhinoceros into battle and stuff. Niggas got invisible aircraft technology. Man, I've seen the movies, bro. You can't lie to me no more about Africa. I've seen the movies. Wakanda forever. Let them niggas be great over there, bro. Why you gotta be inviting niggas to my house? This is my house. I live here. My son sleeps in the basement.
Black Americans, shut the fuck. What? Now my conversation is how we need to find a way to get the Africans here. So we need to get jobs that nobody's taking so that the Africans can take over. How Africans can send money back home so we could build Africa. And I don't give a fuck about anyone else. I'm serious anymore. Delineation is what's needed. You win. This.
You're not even from Africa. You're from the Caribbean, though. That's what's weird about this whole conversation right now. You're not even from Africa. You don't even want to build up your little island that you come from. You could build you a little hotel, nicen up your neighborhood, get some tourism coming down there, you know, buy you a little jitney, sell tours to the white people. You can make you some money. You're not trying to build nothing in your own house. You want us to leave our house. No, you want us to invite some other niggas to our house so they can get rich here and send the money back to their house, though. And you don't even love your own house. You see what I mean? Come on, man. Come on, man. What am I supposed to do with niggas like this, bro?
We need to find a way to get the Africans here. So we need to get jobs that nobody's taking so that the Africans can take over. How Africans can send money back home so we could build Africa. And I don't give a fuck about anyone else. I'm serious anymore. Delineation is what's needed. You win. This is FBA town. Do you FBA? You and me, I'm going to settle and focus on my African community. That's it.
FBA town. That actually sounds kind of nice. I ain't gonna lie. I don't want to move there because I don't really trust you niggas like that. But I like the sound of it though. I ain't gonna lie. As a branding, that works, man. FBA town. One of you crazy niggas need to run away with this idea, man. FBA town. It's all you, bro. He said he's not gonna do it. He's leaving. He's going back to the Africans. This Jamaican nigga is moving in with the Africans. Go figure. But if FBA town
can send money back home so we could build Africa, and I don't give a fuck about anyone else. I'm serious anymore. Delineation is what's needed. You win. This is FBA town. Do you FBA? You and me, I'm gonna settle and focus on my African community. That's it.
Oh man, what a guy. What a guy. Anyway, now let's bring us to the heavy hitter. Your boy dropped a video very recently. This is like a day or two old. Let me pull out and see when this actually dropped. 22 hours ago. Because I'm on your head, FD Signifier. Pause, take that back. But we got drama low-key, FD Signifier. We do have some beef, no lie. It's been a build-up. I noticed he put this out earlier. And I had already been kind of looking at this kind of my timeline. Oh no, this must be addressed. I want to take us all back in time because I know somebody's going to suggest this. So I want to take us all back in time to where it all began. When I was a lot angrier, maybe. I don't think I'm as angry now as I was then. You know, we were all in a different place in life back then, weren't we? You mad at this white girl because she talked to a supposed white supremacist and she didn't fight your black fight for you. The nerve of you niggas wanting a white girl to fight your black fight for you. But
Lord, y'all getting these panels. Some of y'all, not everybody, getting y'all feelings. And y'all have these shouting matches with each other, with imaginary people about how you're going to help black men. And it don't happen, and it's not going to happen if we're not working together with the actual people we're in community with, which includes black women and queer people. And it's never happened.
Okay, wait a minute. What do you think black women and queer people want for black boys?
That is a good question. We did ask him that, and I don't think we got to satisfy.
Wait, that was such a good question, though. That is really that's the question of the century. What do you think queer people want for black women and boys? I'm just, I'm not even going to attempt to answer it. I just want to let the question linger in the air like an alley-oop frozen in time.
Fine answer. I want to pass it to Hood Conservative. Go ahead, Hood Conservative. What prompted you to come up? Or you can respond directly.
Wow, that was.
Now.
Nah, I don't even think you want me to respond directly to where it's at right now. I would get you straight. No, because yeah, queer people and children, like, come on. Yeah, anyway, nigga. Anyway, so
hold on.
So
the civil rights movement, was that an only black male led movement? The Black Panthers, was that only black male led? These movements that were actually successful in America, were they actually only black male led?
You keep speaking of the black man's
that has nothing to do.
This is responding to
no. The civil rights has nothing to do with what's happening today. So that's irrelevant. That fight is fought. That fight is fought and over. The men that you're contending with right now have an entirely different set of issues and complaints that are not directly connected to the civil rights movement or who did what and who shot John.
Okay. He's talking about in principle. He's not talking about.
All right, so
like,
let's. I want to.
No, because what he wanted to do is use that as a wedge to try to introduce some other interests that have nothing to do with what we want to talk about. So never mind that. The thing that made me want to come up here, and this is something I think we might have to revisit this issue, Bernard, because I guess we're way deep into this show now, and I want to talk about this more in depth, but I've been listening to a lot of the pushback for the last week or so over the Pearly thing, and I was really struck back. Somebody mentioned Sperling earlier, and I was kind of struck how deep and hard Sperling was going, because I don't know if you noticed, he was like calling niggas monkeys and bonobos and chimpanzees and shit. Like, he was really going in on niggas all over this white girl who did nothing to nobody, and nobody did nothing to like help her along the way as far as the black manosphere is concerned. And it's just amazing. It's really amazing to me how some people, and I'm saying somebody, especially in regards to Mr. FD right here in front of us, some people can say that they care about the community on the whole, yet they take this little opportunity, they take this really, really nothing of an opportunity to absolutely shit on everything that black men believe in, everything that we want, everything that matters to us, everything that we say is important, everything that just fucking bothers us, all because you're upset with a white woman. And I think that's a really deep psychological point right there. Like, something about this white woman just brings out all the black male hatred. And so now FD up here basically trying to get us to explain why she's successful as if we're responsible for it. Like, you want bad enough that your vision of black men is to be some type of drone for the matriarchal community that you think is the way it's supposed to be, because there is no black male sovereignty in a matriarchal community. The idea that the black women are going to get freedom and have everything they want, and that automatically means the black men are going to be happy, you're lying, and you know you're lying, because you ultimately don't value what black men want. So how you going to sell black men a world where what we want matters when you don't fucking care? The whole thing is a scam. And this is what I've been noticing lately about this so-called pro-black movement. And I don't got beef with every single pro-black out there, but goddamn, y'all niggas really going hard against black men, more so than a white man that you're supposed to be out there fighting. We just saw a perfect example of that with Obsidian running Jason Black interviews talking to Jared Taylor. You mad at this white girl because she talked to a supposed white supremacist and she didn't fight your black fight for you. The nerve of you niggas wanting a white girl to fight your black fight for you. But anyway, y'all mad that the white girl didn't fight for your black ass. And then Jason Black dumbass, he's sitting there being fucking Samuel Jackson and Django when he talking to Jared Taylor. Yo, Obsidian was killing me with that shit. Holy shit, this nigga was nice to the motherfucker. All you niggas, this is exactly how all you niggas act. You ride hard on black men who actually care about themselves and want to see their brothers not suffer under this dumb shit you niggas believe in, and then you go around and kowtow to white people who don't love us at fucking all. How dare you niggas, bro? What the fuck is up with that?
Let's go!
Shut.
Let's go!
That shit don't got nothing to do with me.
Let's go!
Nigga, you in it. You in it, and you wanted to be in it. You inserted yourself in it. You could have stayed home. You could have.
Bro, you just went on for a second. Give me a chance to respond. The fact that I'm even here having this conversation and trying to hear it directly from y'all refutes the idea that that's what I'm about. Because I don't, like, aside from what BGS said, I don't have to be here.
And so this video was dropped just 22 hours ago. That interaction was a few years ago when FD Signifier and myself, we bumped into each other on a panel. We collided on a panel once. And it was a moment. It was a moment in time. And I'm glad somebody actually made a little video out of that. I didn't even know that was a thing, but somebody snapped that little piece out and saved it for posterity. Whoever did that, thank you so much for that. But moving forward, 22 hours ago, FD Signifier drops this video. The manosphere is evolving.
But I want to address this simping allegation. Do I simp for black women? Yes. I love black women. I don't like y'all niggas. This is an easy decision to make. Sorry.
Hit that like button for me, guys. Support the stream. Let's
go. The manosphere is evolving, but for the first time in a while, I think we are too. So I touched on this on my Twitch channel a little while ago. I think I even released a little video about it. But about a week and a half ago, a bunch of people, a bunch of the worst types of dudes, to be honest, got really mad at Deontay Kyle for saying some shit that I think needed to be said. When I play this and you hear Deontay talk, you're gonna be like, oh, I get it. But let's hear this real quick.
You may not harass women. You may know how to take rejection. The majority of men that most women deal with do not.
Yeah.
And you are accountable for that as well. You can call it pandering. But if I was up here caping for white women, you wouldn't even mention that word. If I was up here caping for Hispanic women, you wouldn't even call it pandering.
Of course, he jumped on Deontay's side with this obvious reach that he made in the video. Like first of all, the idea that all black men somehow don't handle rejection well. Like if on its face, if women were afraid of rejecting men, the interpersonal violence just between strangers, not even domestic violence, but just between a stranger man and a woman would be way higher. And the idea that, you know, women just automatically get abused if they turn a man down is stupid. Who thinks that? Who believes that?
Only when we take pride and show love to black women do you call it pandering.
Deontay Kyle of the Grits and Nets podcast was basically just responding to the energy that was being put out there by a lot of these dudes around Tory Lanez and Diddy, people talking about free Diddy, as if Diddy was not caught on camera abusing Cassie this time last year. And
you should charge Diddy with that abuse then. Charge Diddy with that abuse. If you had to put Diddy on trial for what was in that video, for that particular incident of abuse, I guarantee 99% of men would be like, hey, well, you can't be kicking chicks in the forehead like that, man. That was crazy. But what's happening at the Diddy trial, it makes Cassie look as questionable as it makes Diddy look maybe guilty. And frankly, Diddy doesn't look all that guilty in a criminal sense. Diddy looks like a guy who's really into aggressive baby oil sex, and he likes to, you know, orchestrate a scene, even if he's in another room. He was probably on an airplane 2 hours away coordinating freak-offs and stuff, and he's just that kind of guy. But I'm not hearing a lot of directly criminal implications so far. I'm not really seeing the smoking gun, the OJ glove thing. And then you find out, like, all right, this is the weird thing about the Cassie situation, right? You could have left him plenty of times. And the times when you did leave him, you cheated on your new guy to run back to him. I mean, it's hard for guys to understand.
And that all these dudes were clearly on board for a second with that, but as soon as Cassie showed up and started pointing out how she was treated, it's like seeing a woman to these niggas. It just forces them back into a misogyny hole where they cannot deal with the idea of engaging with another woman as a human. That red pill ideology.
What does that mean, engaging with another woman as a human? Am I not human? Do I not bleed? Like, what do you mean engaging with another woman as a human? It just doesn't make sense to me that you would cheat on your hero with your abuser. It's hard for people to understand such things.
Completely comes back up to the surface. And a lot of other folks, a lot of other men, sadly, online, a lot of other men online, and this is important for me to point out, they seem to not be bothered by this. And they seem to be bothered by the idea that someone like Deontay Kyle or these other men publicly take issue with this nonsense. And for a while now, while I've dabbled in talking about manosphere stuff, I've mostly kind of, not engaged with it because I think building something bigger than the manosphere is more valuable than at every turn trying to engage with, debunk, or fight manosphere type energy and attitudes.
You can't. You can't. 2 reasons. And I don't blame him. This is strategically solid move on his part. But one, from his position, it's like the mud. And the more he fights in the manosphere, the muddier he gets. And conversely, the more heroic these muddy people start to look, i.e., the video I played to start out this whole interaction, right? That was not a good look for him. Nobody knows who I was back then, except if you listen to the Bernard Riley show or whatever. And so it's just better for him to maintain distance, right? He needs to stay above it all. Now, that being said, point for point, you can't fight. You really can't fight point for point because your points are weak and contrived out of thin air, essentially.
However, I think it's time to get back in the ring at this point, because on one end, we're probably closer than we've ever been at actually completely turning the tables on red pill nonsense, at least within black male spaces. But at the same time, it's also obvious that the red pill is evolving and becoming a little bit more dangerous and insidious in ways that I don't think people are paying attention to.
We're becoming more dangerous. Little old me.
Give a nigga a break. Give a nigga a break. How much more can I take? Give a nigga a break. a nigga pray, give a nigga a pray. How much more can I take? Give a nigga a break.
How come all these overweight dreadlock niggas think we dangerous, bro? What's up with that?
I don't think I have to explain the red pill too tough at this point. You pretty much probably already know if you're watching me, but for anyone not knowledgeable, the red pill is one of many names used to describe the manosphere, a loosely associated genre of misogynistic content that has been online for really well over a decade at this point, but saw exponential growth in the last few years, especially during the COVID lockdowns. From 2020 to 2023, there was a meteoric rise of people like Andrew Tate, Sneeko, Fresh.
I hate how Aiden Ross gets thrown in the manosphere bag. I feel like he literally bought his way into the conversation.
Fit, Jordan Peterson, the late Kevin Samuels, and plenty of others. You might think all those names can't be grouped together, but you'll be wrong, and I've already made 2 long-ass videos about it, so go watch those. I'm not going over it again. However, from 2023 to now, those ties have shifted somewhat. Fresh and Fit were demonetized, Sneeko was a weirdo, and people seem to finally be realizing this. Andrew Tate got arrested and has seemingly been trying to stay out of the spotlight. Jordan Peterson kind of lost his mind off benzos and shifted his focus to, you know, supporting a genocide, so.
Yeah, Peterson fell off way hard, man. It's a shame what they did to Peterson. Got out here dressing like Two-Face and stuff. It's crazy, man.
I guess it got worse. And Kevin Samuels died alone. How
I don't really enjoy the glee people seem to take in his passing. And I don't think he was quite alone. That's the irony of it all, too, right? I mean, if you're going to die in some cheeks, man, God bless you. You know, I salute you, sir. Nigga died in some cheeks, man. What you going? How else are you supposed to die? You want him to die on his horseback or something? Like, nah, he died in some cheeks. The nigga died in battle, bro. The nigga died in battle. Shout out to the Midwest Request with the $2 super chat. I think all of FD Signifier videos are gay indoctrination on some level. It is what it is, man. You know, this is why we don't really watch him all that frequently. But shout out to Kevin Samuels, man. He died in battle, bro. He is in the halls of black male Valhalla right now.
ironic. With these flag bearers, you would think that the manosphere would shrivel up and die, and you'd be right for the most part, right? For the black manosphere in particular, Samuels was their one crossover superstar, and without him, they mostly returned to their musty basements and group chats on Discord and Zoom calls, doing the same debates they have been doing for the last decade and a half. White red pill spaces, for various reasons, have always struggled to maintain overt visibility, and while they're still very visible and being covered more by mainstream audiences, overall it felt
the white red pill spaces have mostly been like forced offline or whatever. A lot of the white guys realized they had to be bigger than just YouTube to maintain a presence. So you still got like the Rolo Tomasis or whatever. They're on podcasts, but you know, they got a whole presence that you really can't just spot on a YouTube channel.
Felt like a lot of those consumers of red pill content between 2020 and 2023 started to realize they were being grifted, maybe went outside and actually tried to talk to women, and a lot of them began to move on. Another big factor is that Donald Trump won again. So a benefit of that is that they're kind of in a refractory period. That's gross, but it is what it is. With their avatar in the White House right now, they just don't have as much energy to go out and be awful like they used to be. But this is also what scares me, because in this previous presidential election, a lot of data clearly indicates that young men for the first time seem to move right in their voting habits, not just in their professed ideology, which is something that's always happened, but it had a tangible effect on outcomes of elections nationwide.
Oh, wow. Wow. I can't believe this is really real. Shout out to Josh with the $4.99 super chat.
There's this myth out there that black men can't handle being spoken to, you know, and told what to do by black women. black men come from our bodies.
Yeah.
So they're used to having these conversations with women.
The matriarchy is strong with the black
It is
community.
very strong.
Yo, shout out to Josh. He says FD Signifier made a 2-hour Beyonce video. Let that sink in. Yeah. Everybody, brief moment of silence for FD Signifier's 2-hour Beyonce video. I know his manhood had to die a long time ago, but we're going to have a moment of silence for it right now.
But I want to address this simping allegation. Do I simp for black women? Yes. I love black women. I don't like y'all niggas. This is an easy decision to make. Sorry.
Damn shame what happened to his manhood.
Why? And although it's not by nearly the same margin, this also includes young black men. After years of being surrounded by these images and this red pill content, there were real consequences in the political world. And this has not gone unnoticed by political actors on the right. Trump was very actively seeking out the attention of audiences from Theo Vaughn to Aiden Ross and of course Joe Rogan.
There is nobody in the black manosphere who can kind of reach that level yet. But I would say this. Anton Daniels has been on Fox News at least once. I don't know how many appearances he's made on like different networks, but I know I've seen him on Fox News. And the reason why I mention that is as these arguments grow, as the evidence mounts, as the video testimony gathers, the points just make themselves, right? The things that people were saying, what, almost 20 years ago now, with Tommy Sotomayor, when he was the first guy I really noticed on the internet saying things like, you know, black women are the worst moms. Just that sentence alone was like world shattering to the listener first time around. Because if you're black, you have this, you know, and Tommy mocked this line too. Even as a crack fiend mama, always was a black queen mama, right? And so he did the rhetorical work of shattering that image. And a movement was growing beyond just him, but these ideas were growing, and then again the women tell on themselves terribly. And so now, even as we get into this new iteration of the co-ed manosphere, the one benefit of the co-ed manosphere is if you can stomach listening to these chicks talk, eventually you'll hear exactly what the men are up against, and you see how intractable the problems become.
Officially red pill figures, but very red pill sensitive, red pill adjacent, if you will.
Oh yeah, but the thing I was saying though is that sooner or later you're gonna get a guy who can kind of maintain a big national platform like Anton Daniels. He has all the right kind of pedigree to really be put in a certain position, and then he'll start talking with different politicians, and then he'll get the ear of the movers and shakers behind the scenes. And I'm only using him as a sort of archetype for what comes next, but these figures will start to present themselves.
And we'll come back to what that means in a second. Another thing that's happening right now is that rapper or singer, mid-tier goblin guy, Tory Lanez, is having a retrial in the court of public opinion all over Twitter and social media. People,
not a mid-tier goblin. Mid-tier goblin, you know, and shout out to Signifier. That was pretty nasty though, but mid-tier goblin, wow. Wow. He really hate niggas, bro. He really do. He really, really hate niggas.
People are saying free Tory, and they're talking about new evidence that has never, like, None of this stuff is relevant, nor will it ever be in court. But it didn't stop a politician in Florida, the whole other side of the country where this shit happens, who definitely knows nothing about Tory Lanez or hip hop or Meg Thee Stallion and doesn't care about that shit either. But this woman knows that if she brings this up, it will activate a certain audience to pay attention to and undergird her politics. This woman jumped in the conversation, getting signed affidavits and alleged witnesses, stuff that will never make it to a courtroom, mind you. But it worked. It brought her attention. And we've seen Fox News and other conservative news sites report on some of this stuff in the same way, because what they're realizing,
you can't stand that he might be innocent and she might have actually lied and had this whole thing set up against him. Like, that would shatter your entire worldview. But guys like me, basically the whole Black manosphere, was looking at this from a jump like, nah, we don't really trust chicks like that anyway. And this whole thing looks suspicious.
Is that the gender wars, especially the Black gender wars, are useful for fueling right-wing agendas and improving upon their standing with young men.
And this is what I was talking about, accusing the Black manosphere of white nationalism. Here we go. The Black gender war is useful to the right-wing agenda, allegedly, right? Next thing you know, all you niggas gonna be whistling Dixie.
They're realizing is that the gender wars, especially the Black gender wars, are useful for fueling right-wing agendas and improving upon their standing with young men who don't know any better. We're watching the red pill go through a very insidious and, to be honest, scary evolutionary process. One thing I've said on numerous occasions is that this whole idea of I got sucked into the red pill by accident is kind of bullshit. It's true to an extent, but it obfuscates an important fact that I need people to realize, which is that red pill ideology is only a few short steps from normal attitudes that exist about sex and gender. And
meaning it's natural, meaning the red pill guys are a lot closer to basic human reality, or at least we attempt to understand it. We make an effort to understand what people really are in a way that the left wing doesn't. The left likes to imagine what people could be. This is what the whole tabula rasa concept, the blank slate concept means. You know, you can be whatever the government shapes you into. And it's like, no, I'm pretty sure I'm a dude. I'm a dude disguised as a dude playing another dude. You know, but whatever that is, the government can't force me into some other thing.
And the reason why it's so hard to consistently combat these ideologies is because we're combating normative opinions that almost all of us have been soaking up since childhood. And this is why I've never taken seriously the left isn't doing enough for men argument, because the reality is we're doing everything we can under the circumstances that are presented to us.
What is the left doing for men, though? Like, that doesn't even register. Like the left would do anything for men. The left's version of for men, and I think we're getting past the point where I've actually reviewed this video, so a lot of this is going to be new to me from here on. But what the left does for men is basically psychological castration. The left fundamentally believes that men need to be adjusted, need to be corrected so that they can properly fit into the new progressive paradigm, whatever that means, because they write it on the fly. They're like literally building the airplane as they're flying it.
That means is there's only so much creators and commentators can do on their own when they are in fact going against the very grain of society. The normative attitudes and opinions that lead to red pill ideology have to be deconstructed from the ground up, and doing that with YouTube videos is not easy. And when you're trying to
basically, he's almost conceding the territory. You can't win the digital battle. You can't fight the fight where the warriors are, though. You can't come down into the jungle and fight the men. And that's got to be frustrating for you. There's an inability to penetrate a particular core group of men, and this group is growing, and it's growing exponentially, apparently, and it's it's at the point of growth where it's now pulling away from the other sectors of men. And I called this years ago. This is why when Bernard and I first started doing like the weekly Saturday shows, I would point out how like the red pill, especially for Black men, the red pill is a very political concept in and of itself. It has nothing to do with how to get a woman to touch your pee-pee. That's like white belt level knowledge, right? But when it really comes down to it, the red pill, what with Black men in particular, what the red pill would ultimately boil down to is a simple proposition that I laid out. If you believe that all of these negative qualities, if you believe Black women have all these negative qualities and it makes interaction with them difficult, it makes them maybe undesirable for long-term romantic partnership, you can't build families and all that stuff, they don't like you, they work against you, you know, Black women in HR don't really hire Black men or whatever, like all these things that get said in different conversations, right? If you believe all these things, why would you as a Black man vote for the party that wants to empower her over you even further? Why would you want to empower the very people that you say you can't get along with, the very people that you say are out to get you, the very people that you say conspire against you at every turn? Why are you cooperating with them politically when it's openly declared? It's not even a secret. It's not even a gotcha. You have to pledge your allegiance to Black female dominance. And then you get on the mic and say, you can't work with these women romantically. You can't build a family with these women. How are we supposed to have a community with these women? I was on the front line pointing this out years ago. And here we are now. It's becoming an open political conversation now. So-called red pill manosphere types are being invited to mainstream platforms. The Angry Man, I wanted to review this, but I kind of, the moment passed, but it was a while ago. It was a couple weeks ago at this point, but the Angry Man had an appearance on Fox Soul, not once, but twice. He was brought up, and you know, Fox Soul is like the janky online Fox network for Black people. But he was brought up on a short little segment at one point, and then they brought him back for a full-length segment. And he did a solid job, a great appearance, but the point is he was there. That's kind of the relevance of it all. Like, the fire rises. Now isn't the time for fear. That comes later.
Change people's baseline opinions on society and gender and relationships and all that, you're going to sound radical and outlandish even when you're not, and that's going to make it very difficult to not turn normal dudes off when you're trying to show them a better way. So it's not that people aren't trying, it's that trying is not easy. And whenever I hear that excuse, I know it's coming from people who want to be coddled instead of taught to do better, who don't want their internal biases and misogyny and issues with women challenged, but want to somehow be accepted in or regarded as doing better with those problems when they haven't actually. Doing this type of work, this type of content requires us to be critical of things that a lot of people see as mundane and offensive, and that's just the road we're on. For example, a couple of weeks ago, a lot of people got mad at Anthony Mackie for a couple of comments that he made on the Pivot podcast.
Oh, yeah. I remember when I first noticed him as an actor years ago. It's funny how they all become woke eventually. Like, you just have to become woke. Black woke Captain America.
In the past 20 years, we've been living through the death of the American male.
And let me pause real quick. Shout out to hold on, this thing keep moving. KMS with the $20 super chat. He says FD a charlatan. Yeah, you could have ended right there. It's worth the $20 right there, bro. FD is a charlatan. Facts. He don't live what he speak. and has set up an online hospice for chicks that are about to get hit with the truck stick of deregulated male productivity. Let me find out he's doing the bunk bed program. I remember we were talking about the bunk bed program years ago on Obsidians, man. Somebody's going to have to start a national bunk bed program. You're going to get federal grant money, though, because these chicks, you know, they losing federal jobs. They losing government jobs left and right. They slashing benefits left and right, man. Somebody going to have to create the government bunk bed program. Sound like FD Signifier got the government bunk bed program online already. He says, our society to survive will unshackle the men and boys. Big facts, bro. Big facts. You got to let niggas off the chain, man. Nothing happens until you let the guys free. That's the only way this is ever going to work. Shout out to KMS with that 20 ball, man. Be like KMS, y'all. Smash that super chat button for me.
Hulk! Smash! Smash you! Yeah! You make Hulk angry! You not like Hulk angry! Hulk no like fighting girls.
Oh, and shout out to the big brother Coon SKC with the 5 ball. He says, I remember when FD came over to Bernard's and he couldn't answer basic questions. What does the left offer men? Why should men believe feminist men? Yeah, you know, this is why I don't know if that whole show is still up. Maybe I'll go back and dig that up one day, but I did have to play that clip of FD and I interacting, that first interaction we had. And those questions, I think I actually raised those questions myself on that panel, but those questions are literally the questions now being asked on a national level. This is how far we've come, boys, all right? I'm raising these questions on a new upstart manosphere channel that he's not even doing content anymore. He done moved on to something else in life. And that question that was raised on that panel has reverberated up into the political realm. That question, and it's not even like I created the question out of thin air. It was there already. I just simply understood it to be there. And a lot of these other guys couldn't see that it was there. And now politics at the national level has to grapple with these questions that random niggas on a manosphere panel were grappling with years ago. That's why FD Signifier can't really deal with what we present. Because even in real time, when we ask him the questions, he doesn't have the answers. And not only does he not have the answers, his party doesn't have the answers. Shout out to the Midwest Request giving away memberships. Welcome to the church, man. Appreciate you guys. Pull up a chair in the...
Get it again. Okay, I'm going to say it again. I come in the name of Jesus. Repeat it after me, bitch. I come in the name of Jesus by the power of the Holy Spirit.
KMS again with the 5 ball. What is the left offering men in trade? Crickets. Big facts, man. There is nothing even within the realm of left-wing political reality that you can do explicitly for men, because at any point you move in the direction to genuinely help men be better, you become you know, an ally of the patriarchy, and then all the Handmaid's Tale chicks are gonna get you. You're literally not allowed to help men be better men on the left unless you're helping them be a gay man or a trans man or an immigrant man. You know, you can be an immigrant on welfare or something like that. You can be an oppressed man on welfare or something like that. You know, you be oppressed by the system, but you can't be a free man. The left wing has no room for a free man. I don't even think you're allowed to watch Braveheart. I'm not sure it's written into the bylaws explicitly, But just take me on it. Just take me at my word. You're not allowed to watch Braveheart if you vote Democrat. They won't let you. You're going to start to get all uppity.
They have literally killed masculinity in our homes and our communities.
To a lot of people, these comments are no big deal. They're benign, in fact. And I'm inclined to understand why they feel like this. However, what many people, myself included, people on the left, know is that this type of worldview is rooted in patriarchal thinking, and these can end up being patriarchal dog whistles, even when a person is not trying to be misogynistic or patriarchal. Because the phrases he used are just as normal in that podcast situation between men who have shown themselves to have sense and not be on red pill bullshit. Shout out to the Pivot Podcast, we'll come there in a second. But that language is also just as common on the worst red pill podcast. And it shows you how
I wonder what specifically he would consider red pill bullshit. Like, what exact line or phrase jumps at him or jumps into his mind if I were to, you know, Rorschach test him with red pill bull? Like, what is it that you really think is the bull? Because I'm sure you've heard some obscure thing, some one-off thing, but the more mainstream guys have been at this for years, streamlining the argument. I mean, it's like the sales team has just been working on pitches for years now. Just making random pitches to strangers, just working on our game, you know? And so this is what I mean when I mention guys like, you know, Anton and Angry Man being invited to like major network platforms. There's been a benefit to grinding it out in the dojo. Just working on the speed bag, banging away at the heavy bag, putting in reps on the bench, rolling around on the mat, learning how to get in the holes, learning how to get out of holes, working on your jab, perfecting your uppercut. There's been a benefit to that.
Insidious this actually is. Those of us who've been involved in this discourse online recognize that pattern, and a lot of them jumped on Mackie, and maybe it was a bit unfair, maybe it was an overreaction, but when you're trying to fundamentally shift society, as I said earlier, that's kind of how it works. We've seen how his seemingly uncontroversial words and opinions about manhood have been used to justify more toxic and extreme ideologies about women and gay people, etc. Even if that wasn't his intent, we have to address what was actually said. Your intent is one thing, your impact is another, and you have to address both of those. Like, maybe you're a guy that unironically still calls black women females in 2025, or you might.
Are they not females? Is that incorrect terminology? I don't understand the weird resentment at using the word female.
Say something like black women aren't submissive enough, and my instinct privately would be to just try to like say, hey, don't do that still, like stop.
Really? That's your instinct? Hey, don't do that still.
Just try to like say, hey, don't do that still, like.
What kind of instinct is that for a man to have? Those words did not come from your balls.
That nigga gay, nigga gay, nigga gay, nigga gay, nigga gay, nigga gay.
Hey, don't do that. Is that what you said when that guy touched you that one time? Is that what you said? You were like, hey, don't do that still. Stop. Is that what you said? That's what you said when that one guy touched you that one time, isn't it?
Would be to just try to like say, hey, don't do that still. Like, stop it. Stop sounding like you're from 2004. I thought we fixed all this. I might just see you as a dickhead, right? Who has it.
No. What did you fix, bro? What did you fix? What has been fixed? What is better? What did you make better? In the time that you've grown as a content creator, the black community has only grown more feminist and more LGBT. Like the self-identification rates are exponential. And I'm not going to blame you for all of that, but you've been in the trenches doing your work. Has anything gotten better in your estimation? How do you think you fixed anything? You thought just by showing up on a panel and saying words into the ether, you would solve problems, like dudes' lives would get better because they heard words from FD Signifier? The niggas really think they on a mountaintop, bro. These niggas got like a weird Malcolm, not even a Malcolm. They got a Martin Luther King complex. They all think they on a mountaintop, bro. True Hype with the 5-ball says, to FD, how would a non-patriarchy society defend against a patriarchal one? Why would I follow a FD to begin with at all, seeing as we don't align? That question is actually the main question. You know, how could the non-patriarchal society defend against a patriarchal one? And the question is kind of dumb. Like there is no real defense. Like that's literally asking, how can women and soft boys defeat a real army? Never in the history of anything have women and soft boys actually defeated a real army. And that appears to be the path that the pro-black culture is on, you know, a path of women and soft boys. And by rejecting the order and structure of an expressed patriarchal system, the only real quote unquote men left would be the criminal element, which is the reason why that the left kind of likes to keep the criminal element in its back pocket, because those are the only real men that they kind of produce, and they have to have some use for them. They have to do something with them. And so they keep them in the back pocket in case we need a riot or something, you know. It's the warrior class.
Learned to do better at this point. Or maybe you just got out of a relationship with a woman that disrespected you and was materialistic and emotionally abusive, and you're resorting to old frameworks of engaging with women as a coping mechanism. That's very much possible. But both of those things, like, you see how that still pulls you into a certain framework that has to be addressed, even if it's stemming from a place of hurt on your part. And so under those circumstances, if I have to correct you, are you going to roll with what I'm saying? Or are you going to be a bitch nigga and go listen to your favorite Kevin Samuels videos while you...
Are you helping men, or are you calling men bitch niggas? I don't know if I've ever called someone a bitch nigga while trying to help them. I mean, I've called niggas bitch niggas, but I meant that from the bottom of my heart. The help might have came at a whole other entire moment in life. But you got to choose, bro. You got to choose. And this is what men are pulling back away from. We can feel how much you hate us, bro. No matter how much you put on your soft boy face and you smile your safe nigga smile, I can tell you hate me. You hate me with the bitterness of an aggressive homosexual. You really deeply hate me. And it's at the point where you can barely hide it.
Lick your wounds. I'm just being real with y'all. Maybe you blame Christianity, Ronald Reagan, hip hop, a lot of things. A lot of people are to blame for this. But the bottom line is, a lot of y'all hate women. You don't realize it. It's so funny because y'all are like caught up in the...
You know, and this is the real the kicker right here. You accuse me of hating women for simply recognizing the hatred they hold for me. That's really the mind fuck of it all. That's what it boils down to. You accuse me of hating women, but all I've done is enumerate the many, many ways women actually show their hatred for men. I guess I'll be the bad guy.
Somebody had to do it. I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it.
These hate spirals online. I had a moment. I was gonna make a whole other video about this. But I'm gonna talk about this here. We off script right now. Where was I?
He about to say something dope. Look, he about to go profound. Josh with the 499 says, you can tell FD didn't start saying the N-word until he got a white audience on YouTube. He learned the N-word in college. True story.
Niggas get on my nerves. Get on my nerves. Somewhat connected to that, these red pill spaces know that y'all are addicted to this negative feedback loop, that if they show you things that make you angry and you don't like, that you'll share it, you'll keep watching, you'll comment, you'll engage, and thus you will get them paid.
All right, one, don't blame anybody for recognizing how to benefit from an algorithm, okay? That's a simple function of being productive. If you want to make money on this YouTube thing, you should learn the ebbs and flows of an algorithm.
And that's why the manosphere was so successful for so long. And that's how they taught these more evil entities to hook y'all in to following them to do worse shit to the world. Then I think in my heart of hearts, I think y'all.
Who's told anybody to do anything to the world? What do you mean? Nobody's given anybody instructions. The most you'll get in terms of instruction from the manosphere, it really boils down to work, gym, home. Those are the most consistent instructions you can really get in the manosphere. Work, gym, home.
Wouldn't really be about if you could take time to like figure out what's going on. Misogyny just means hatred of women. And it's so prevalent.
Are we on this again, really? You know, it's been months since I've actually said respect my misogyny. But the problem is, you don't even understand my misogyny. You think my misogyny is evil. My misogyny is biblically ordained. My misogyny was given to me. It floated down like manna from heaven. This misogyny is my sword and my shield, and I shall not want. My misogyny lays me down in green pastures. You have no idea about this misogyny, bro. Don't even start talking about my misogyny. You don't even understand what it's about. You about to get all extra literal. No. This misogyny it's a deep spiritual thing. It's deeper than some word written in a dictionary. This is God's law.
And so easily like subterfuge in the way a lot of people think that y'all don't even like recognize how ridiculous it looks when you follow people like Just Pearly Things, an actual woman who didn't follow any of the things she said. And
oh my God, everybody hates Pearly Things. It's like, it's literally years later and people want to go back and bring up the Pearly Thing issue as if there was an issue to begin with, though. She's literally a white woman doing red pill content. Outside of that, there's really nothing special about her, but black people, she had too many black friends. That's really the thing that almost killed Pearly Things. Pearly Things started out genuinely having black friends around her, right? She just, for whatever reason, she got cool with some of the black folk that she met while she was living in London. She started her podcasting, and even years ago, before she blew up, she had that one black girl she was doing content with. And then as she started doing a bigger show, she, you know, started catching on with her videos. She started moving into the red pill stuff. And then she started having panels, and she invited a lot of black people. And I think a part of the reason was her recruiters were most likely black. And they were, you know, in black areas talking to a lot of black people. And that's who came to the show in a lot of times, right? And so she just somehow fell into a black audience. She was literally like Alice in Wonderland, falling down the rabbit hole, right? And all of a sudden, blacks in America were like, who this white woman with all these niggas in her life? And she became an instant target without ever actually doing anything wrong. And then she invited Nick Fuentes onto the show, and that didn't really help. And, you know, she got demonetized shortly after.
Talked about in her content, but you watched her anyway because she seemingly made other people feel bad, which made y'all feel better. The aforementioned Kevin Samuels somehow had a huge female audience because this hatred of women, misogyny, is not a gender-specific issue. I'd argue that the female audience Kevin Samuels gained is a key reason as to why he grew so fast on YouTube. Many of the people spreading misinfo on Meg Thee Stallion are other black women because the hatred of women is a genre of media at this point, and it's an easy way to get attention, to build a platform, and it resonates with people because it's an entrenched part of how we think and work as a society. It is.
You keep saying hatred of women, and that's just not really what's happening. Women are just literally doing too much, and it's getting on a lot of people's nerves.
It's not like, and as I said before, it's evolving. So a lot of those like overt manosphere figures are dying off, which is ironic because if you want to take some of the manosphere figures at their word, they're just trying to teach guys how to talk to girls and teach them how not to get played and how to dress and whatnot and have men's spaces where they can speak their mind, right? If that is what it is, it never was, but whatever. Let's say that was the case. All of the things that made those spaces possible are being subsumed into people like Asmund Gold and Aiden Ross and academics.
How did Asmund Gold become linked to the manosphere, though? Even academic has always been his own thing. But you know, I think what's happening though, and this is kind of like the tighter you hold your grip, the more galaxies will slip through your fingers. Any man who's not explicitly left-wing is going to become right-wing by default, right? If you're not visibly blowing a guy in public in front of the world, then you're right-wing by default.
Academics who regularly are dabbling and participating in red pill rhetoric and activating misogynistic hate movements. I saw a couple of weeks ago academics posting about Cassie after Cassie got on the stand pregnant and talked about how Diddy beat and peed on her for 3 or 4 days straight. He had the nerve to focus on the fact that she, as a victim, told Diddy where Kid Cudi lived.
I mean, well, that is kind of an interesting twist in the plot, right? Like, so big mean Diddy man, he beat and wee-weed all over her for days. Can you imagine? He beat and peed on her for days straight. That's your allegation, by the way. This is why people are looking at the trial like, you know, I know he's creepy, but like, is he Rico creepy? Like, come on. Like, that's your Rico case, is he beat and peed on you for 3 days? I didn't realize that's what a Rico case would boil down to. Like, where is the drugs? Where are the paid off judges? Where are the murdered people? You just got a guy who's really, really trying to perfect his craft. You just got a guy who's really, really, because you know they say you got to put in 10,000 hours before you become a master at something, right? And Diddy was trying to put in his 10,000 hours. Like, he was trying to perfect his craft. I don't know what you would call it, but he was working on it. And Cassie was there for like 11 years. And allegedly, all right, so he was, you know, he was crafting too hard. He was doing 10K peeing hours is wild. You got to get those 10,000 hours in. Otherwise, you're really not an expert. You know what I'm saying? This is wild. This is really a Rico case, bro. But you got to get your 10,000 hours in. Otherwise, you're not really an expert. But anyway, we're getting off subject. We shout out to the Diddy man. But if he's that bad, and then you find a hero, a guy willing to take you away. He's like, he's not gonna finish his 10,000 hours on me. Rescue me, Cudi. And Kid Cudi rescues you. And then you call up Diddy, man, like, I want you to come over here and pee on his house. Like, what the hell, Cassie? Like, come on. How do you just have him come over here and finish the last hour, the last of the 10,000 hours pissing on Kid Cudi's furniture? Like, come on, Cassie, help me out here. I want to believe you, Cassie. I really want to believe you here, but you're making it difficult. You're making it really, really hard to see you as like some type of special victim here, Cass. It's really difficult for me to like see you completely as the victim here. There's a lot going on here, man. There's a lot.
Like Diddy wouldn't have beat her ass if she didn't tell him in the first place. And y'all fell for it.
How many beatings has Cassie testified to, though? Because we have that one kick that was allegedly on camera. But here's the thing. I don't know if they can bring that thing up in trial, because I think they got that video squashed or whatever you call it. Like, I don't know if that video is admissible in trial. But how many actual beatings has Cassie testified to? Because even then, it would all be alleged, but at least it would be on record.
Because you're not smart, because you're not logical. Your only logic is, does what I'm saying right now make a woman angry? If yes, say it. I saw dudes on Twitter last week calling Deontay Kyle a panderer, and them same dudes are joking about killing women a week later.
Who's doing that? Who's making the scene? Nobody's supposed to die in aisle 5, right? All right, security. We gotta get security in there. Nobody's supposed to die in aisle 5, right? You got guys. You taking the joke to the wrong place. Who's making these type of jokes? Jesus Christ! See. There's a way, there's an art to DV jokes, all right? There's a way to make DV funny. I haven't figured out the punchline that ends in her dying unless you're like Eminem. Eminem could do it. Eminem could do a whole song and it would be funny. But we don't do that here, though. We leave that to the crazy white guys. That's uniquely their thing.
Hashtag pander at this point. Hashtag pander. I already made a video about it. You already know, but still, fuck y'all niggas. Anyway, back to Deontay Kyle. I'm really happy that he's emerged.
See, I don't know why niggas really be wanting beef where all you had to do is live, bro. All you had to do is live, bro. I don't know why you out here picking fights with a whole gang of niggas, bro.
But I want to address this simping allegation. Do I simp for black women? Yes. I love black women. I don't like y'all niggas. It's an easy decision to make. Sorry.
All you had to do is live, bro. That's it. Stay black and die. It's literally all you had to do. Nah, you want to get up here, milady. You want to go protect the queens. Now here we are.
And it's not just him, because there was a moment where I often felt like I was alone as a black voice talking this talk with a decent sized platform. I swear 2022, I sometimes felt like Jon Snow at the Battle of the Bastards with my sword in hand, watching the...
It's crazy how left-wing people imagine themselves. Do you guys think FD Signifier is a furry? Not like a full-time furry, but like, you know, in the closet. He has like a wolfkin helmet or something. It wouldn't surprise me if FD Signifier was like somehow attached to furry culture. But he's like a closet furry, though. I don't know why. For some reason, a puppy mask guy. Not the puppy mask. There's a particular brand of perversion that goes along with that little puppy mask. But for some reason, it just popped into my mind because he imagines himself as like Jon Snow at the Battle of the Bastards. But I'm like, no, that's the self-projection that you share with the world, right? But what's your real self-projection? I think you're furry. I think deep down inside, there's nothing but fur.
Gross, nastiest, mustiest niggas and their weirdo channels coming toward me, standing like a boss, ready to go to battle. Of course, you have had folks like Foreman in Foreign Land, Lil Bill and Turb at the time, but now we're seeing an explosion of black men making anti-misogynistic, it really not even anti-misogynistic, because like, it doesn't.
You know, that's the one thing that I did notice about the so-called death of the manosphere, when like a lot of the big channels kind of broke up or just moved on from different kind of content. The manosphere, it kind of atomized into a lot of just smaller different pockets, and so there isn't like an online manosphere like trademark brand at this point. It's really just a vibe now. And you can't block a vibe. You can't ban a vibe.
It doesn't even have to be that deep. It really is just dudes with common sense that have been around the whole time that don't hate women grabbing the microphone from these lame ass niggas that got propped up by the algorithm. So yes, Deontay Kyle is blowing up on podcast land and TikTok. I talked to Professor Odie on a few occasions and he built a large following doing the same shit. Justin Scott has blown up on TikTok and Instagram in the past few months. I mentioned the Pivot podcast earlier, and they're not perfect, but they're really good at addressing these issues and spreading.
Now, didn't I tell you that the new anti-manosphere exists explicitly to wrangle the narrative away from these rogue black men who hate women and all that? These white adjacent black men. Remember when they said straight black men are the white people of black people, right? And now you have this new type of anti-manosphere content that is designed to counter signal. That's literally what they're doing, is counter signaling. And so they want to take that same energy that the manosphere has ginned up and try to move the guys away from the points, right? Like, no, this is the safe, acceptable, democratic, approved stamp of the homosexual stamp of approval brand of masculinity, right? This is the type of masculinity that the women love and the gays approve of, and this is what you should be.
A certain type of ideology around what real black masculinity looks like. And speaking of imperfect, Mark Lamont Hill on the Joe Budden podcast has been
see, there you go. Perfect example. They add Mr. Some Men Can Get Pregnant to the Joe Budden podcast. And I've been saying this because I've been noticing the clips from the Joe Budden podcast. You know, all these niggas basically just gossip anyway. They're a bunch of gossiping niggas. That shit is actually kind of terrible.
A revelation of what's possible when niggas with sense are allowed to penetrate red pill echo chambers. It's ironic that they will say that we're the ones in echo chambers and that we're the ones pandering, but go look at them old Kevin Samuels videos and watch them dudes twerking in the comment section in the chat, dropping thousands of dollars alive on Kevin Samuels just so he'll talk bad about black women.
Pocket watching much? Damn, son.
But y'all call us panderers. And this is just those who have made a splash recently. This is not even those on the way, just getting started and bubbling beneath the surface of relevancy. Going back to the whole the left doesn't care about men thing. Again, always been a cop-out to me. Said by...
What positive thing has he said about men in general in this entire video? And again, you can't blame the manosphere for simply noticing, right? You know, all of mainstream media, mainstream liberal culture is having a problem of noticing. in a lot of different ways. There's too many things are being noticed right now. And as men, as podcasters especially, it's become a lot easier to just point out how obviously these women must really hate us, right? There was the whole, remember they had the Kill All Men campaign at one point on the internet. Like, women can get on the internet and say the most egregious things about men, but if a man were to say the equivalent thing about women, then he would lose his, everything he loves in life. And the noticing will not stop.
I have Black mother privilege. And I'm going to start breaking that down for y'all. Because there is a privilege for me as a Black mother. I'm not going to have the same relationship. My sons adore me. My sons will put their life on the line in a New York minute over me. My sons will lose everything they have over me. Over me? It ain't happening. My sons will turn on their father over me. Over me? So when you ask me about my Black sons, the relationship does not correlate the same to what I'm saying about Black men.
People who paradoxically themselves are not really trying to move left for the most part. What those people really mean is that the left is expecting a level of accountability and decorum from men who want to be respected in our spaces or respected in general online, but they aren't ready for that level of commitment yet. They want to be babied and coddled and not be checked on their toxic behavior, and they want to be able to act like something's wrong with the world if somebody points to them and says, hey, you fucked up when you said this and when you did this and when you thought this. They don't want to actually be corrected. They just want to set the standard at the comfort zone that they're stuck at.
Why do I need to be fixed? There's this problem. You're starting from a position of the average guy needs to be fixed, right? And there's a concept, there's a phrase, it's an icky kind of phrase, but there's a concept that it's instantly familiar once I tell you what's happening here. But the left is openly engaging in the buck breaking of men. That's really what the left is attempting to do, psychologically buck breaking the men. We want to radically alter how you view the entirety of the world, how you look at women, how you look at jobs, how you look at your country. The entire position of the left as it refers to men is frankly buck breaking. And they call it help. That's really the worst part of it all. That's what makes it particularly evil, right? It's one thing if you just, you just like buck breaking, you're just a weirdo like that. It's another thing entirely to think you're a doctor. Like I'm Dr. Buckbreaker. I'm here to help. What's wrong with the patient? Oh, he hasn't been buck broken? Well, this is just my thing. What a coinky dink. Like, it makes you a particular type of evil when you consider yourself like doing a good thing, right? When you're here to help, when you're supposed to be the good guy. The Hippocratic Oath and all that. The Midwest Request with the $2 super chat, he says, alphas address and analyze problems quickly. Yeah. Speaking of alphas, and I think maybe this is an issue that the left is having on a philosophical level. You are anti-alpha. You are alpha male repellent. There's nothing about the culture of the left wing that really attracts raw alpha men.
And don't get me wrong, there's a problem with purity testing that happens in leftist spaces, but not nearly to the degrees that these complaining ass niggas think there is. But even that is starting to shift because there are so.
We're getting to him. We're getting to him. Look at this. Look at his face.
But They're
I know. All of a sudden, it hurts to be so gay. You want to blame it on us?
That nigga gay, nigga gay, nigga gay, nigga gay, nigga gay, nigga gay.
Our methods work. I want you to take his sign of frustration as an achievement trophy. FD Signifier Frustration Award unlocked.
But even that is starting to shift because there are so many more men just owning the problem in better, more visible spaces. I've always believed that red pill ideology, the way those dudes move and look, at its core is unpopular. Normal dudes, even misogynistic and patriarchal ones, which is still a thing, look at the red pill niggas like they're fucking weirdos, because they are. But
what do you mean? What does that even mean?
Red pill ideology, the way those dudes move faces. I've always believed that red pill ideology, the way those dudes move and look, at its core is unpopular. Normal dudes, even misogynistic and patriarchal ones, which
if you're misogynistic and patriarchal, you are red pill by default. What do you even mean? Like, if you were born into a misogynistic patriarchal culture, you're literally genetically red pilled. You were red pilled off the vine. And this is why guys like FD Signifier really can't tangle with the best of the manosphere crowd, because whether it's real time, and especially when, you know, somebody's just reviewing your content, they have all the time in the world to pick you apart. But in real time, bro, you're going to look really, really stupid.
Is still a thing. Look at the red pill niggas like they're fucking weirdos, because they are. But misogyny and patriarchy are not unpopular in themselves. And what we have finally is a wave of men pushing directly against that.
Misogyny and patriarchy is literally the majority of human existence. That's like saying meat is not unpopular in and of itself. Like, yeah, eating meat literally made humans what we are. Like, cooking meat literally made human beings the physical being that we are today. It was a part of our genetic biological makeup. Next thing he's going to be telling us that, you know, the sun is just somehow hot for reasons inexplicable to man. It's just hot.
That and the way that tends to present itself online and how it tricks all these different people into thinking that this is normal ways of thinking. It's happening in a way that's resonating on multiple frequencies, not just FD Signifier and his channel and channels, but different dudes from different walks of life and different ways of presenting are coming to the same conclusions. And that's how we...
Yes, you and all the gays. Say it again, please.
FD Signifier and his channel and channels, but different dudes from different walks of life and different ways of presenting.
You and all the gays. One more time now.
Online and how it tricks all these different people into thinking that this is normal ways of thinking. It's happening in a way that's resonating on multiple frequencies, not just FD Signifier and his channel and channels, but different dudes from different walks of life and different ways of presenting are coming to the same conclusions. And that's how we start a wave. Now, understand, this is a wave. The political moment
is starting a wave. I want you to think about why a bunch of random regular guys don't want to be a part of you and all the gay wave. You and all the different presenting people from other walks of life are building, you're creating a wave, and you're having a hard time attracting random regular guys. I wonder why. Let's ponder that a minute, huh?
President Trump is helping to make all this possible, and we're still fighting an uphill battle, so we need folks to keep pushing. But I do just want to claim that victory and the amount of growth and momentum that we have now compared to how it felt in this space 3 or 4 years ago. So shout out to everyone I mentioned in this video. Shout out to y'all for watching. If you're new here, you want more, let me introduce you to the suddenly much larger FD Signifier network, as I now have 5 different channels going on. The newest additions are FD Streams and FD Games, where I host replay clips of my Twitch streams, which low-key, I guess, makes it 6 channels altogether, but whatever. There's also a Signified podcast, which hosts talks that are more in-depth and political.
It's a whole network of these haters. This is like the Underground Railroad of gay politics right here. One day these niggas gonna be free from all you heterosexual patriarchal men. One day they gonna break the chains of straight nigga oppression. One day they gonna be free to twerk in public in front of any Walmart, any Chili's, any Costco they choose. Freedom at last. Freedom at last. One day they gonna be free of all you straight niggas. His whole network, bro. This nigga really got a network.
Then what you got here of me ranting and yelling at niggas I'm tired of talking about on the internet, that is probably the height of my intellectual content or intellectual conversations. And lastly, there's this channel where I host my hot takes and do commentary at least bi-monthly. And finally, the flagship.
You know, honestly, I'm not really noticing intellectual content, and maybe this is not the channel for his intellectual content. I don't know what this is like, the FD Signifier clips or something, but his criticism of men in the manosphere literally boiled down to his high points were misogyny and F you niggas. This is literally the high points of his intellectual reach. You guys are misogynies and F you niggas because you misogyny.
Main channel where my long form video essays live. Beyonce videos out now. Lupe Fiasco videos being edited as we speak.
You're doing a lot of work, doing lots and lots of work. Anyway, man, these pro-blackity blacks, man, I tell you. Let me take a look at one last video before we get up out of here.
You didn't just abandon the hood. You disowned the people who would have died for you just to sit at a table that laughs when you leave the room. See, here's the thing. We were raised in a circle, fed by hands that had nothing, protected by people who had no protection themselves.
This sounds like black poetry. Remember when Deaf Poetry Jam was a thing? Deaf Poetry Slam or whatever.
You didn't just abandon the hood. You disowned the people who would have died for you just to sit at a table that laughs when you leave the room. See, here's the thing. We were raised in a circle, fed by hands that had nothing, protected by people who had no protection themselves. But then one day, we were told that to be safe, we had to leave. But the truth is that you are walking toward.
Is it not safer? Is it not nicer? I don't know why all the pro-blacks really are just dead set on convincing everybody outside the hood that it's safe inside the hood. And then the funny thing is, like, all of your favorite rappers, you know, the defense that people have of like gangster rap and hip hop, well, they just telling it how it is. They describing a reality. That's his truth. So it's violent, right? It's full of crazy people who do wild things from time to time, right?
For safety, you were walking toward a throne that only invites you close enough to kneel. There was this great trade. Unity for proximity, right? You could think about it like that. We didn't give up on unity because we hated each other. We gave up on unity because we were told it was the price of survival. Speak proper. Keep your distance. Don't be too loud, too soulful, too hood, too angry, too black. We weren't escaping violence. We were trading community for curated proximity. And it came wrapped in suits, degrees, and I made it out. But what we lost was everything that could have made all of us free.
What is this free? I keep hearing niggas talk about getting free. We trying to be free. One day we gonna be free. We not free yet. If one of us ain't free, none of us ain't free. what is free? What does free mean to black people? Could you imagine a modern person, a modern black person, trying to explain to an ex-slave fresh off the plantation how we's not free yet? I would love for somebody, that should be a skit. I feel like that should be like a Mad TV skit. One of these modern pro-blacks somehow build a time machine and they go back and wrangle up an ex-slave and they get to have an interview with an ex-slave. And now they trying to explain to the ex-slave how we technically still not free. And the slave gonna be like, so you own this big house here, do you now? Like, well, I mean, yeah, you know, it's my house, you know, it cost me some money, I had to work a lot for it, but you know, oh, so you get money. They give you reals monies? Like golds? Like how many gold coins you got in your pocket? Like we don't really use gold. I got, you know, a couple, you know, thousands of dollars in my bank account. They let your black ass into the banks with all them white folks' monies? What do you mean? Yeah, I have to walk in the bank. Like, you know, where else you gonna put the money? Like, I don't get it. So you mean to tell me you got this big old house and you just, because the banks is downtown, right? They don't put the bank nowhere, so they let niggas walk downtown straight on directly in the bank because they got a side door for you, right? They must have a side door. Well, they used to have side doors in some places, but they don't do that no more. So they don't even have a side door no more. And you just walks into this white man's money house and you just put your money on the table like the rest of the white folks, and they put your money in the drawer and they give you a little receipt, and you can read it. Who taught you how to read? Well, you know, we all kind of have to go to school. It's like the law now. Everybody has to. So they made it a law to educate your little pickaninny. Well, I mean, schools are actually kind of terrible though. Like, you know, they don't really have a lot of like cool stuff and computers. They got computers now. Like, could you just imagine this conversation going on endlessly? Wait till he hears about Michael Jordan. Oh God, wait till he hears about Michael Jordan. Can you really imagine one of these modern day niggas trying to explain to OG black folk how we still not free yet? I mean, somebody help me out here. What is this freedom that we looking for?
See, they didn't sell you freedom. They sold you a seat with your back to your own people. The fog of false protection is like a good way to think about it, right? Proximity is the soft lie that silences the scream. It tells you you're not like them. You're safe here. We trust you, not the rest. But you know what that comes with? It comes with terms. You'll be watched more than...
This is what happens when college niggas have to take poetry classes as an elective. You hear this bullshit?
Think about it, right? Proximity is the soft lie that silences the scream. It tells you you're not like them. You're safe here. We trust you, not the rest. But you know what that comes with? It comes with terms. You'll be watched...
Creative writing for woke niggas.
More than you're welcome. You'll be tokenized more than you're trusted. The second you defend someone too black, too angry, too real, your pass gets revoked. That isn't safety. That's curated survival built on portrayal. And they didn't lift you up. They lifted you out. So you couldn't carry anybody with you. See, here's the thing. In black society, we have this culture of containment. Black success is police. Black grief is silence.
You know what really kills me about guys like this, man? You can just kind of talk and never have to make sense about things. And you'll gain millions of listeners and followers who, in their mind, I guess their analytical process kind of stops at, yeah, right on, brother. But what do these phrases actually mean?
So you couldn't carry anybody with you. See, here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
In Black society, we have this culture of containment.
We have a culture of containment in Black society. What does that mean?
Black success is policed.
Policed by who?
Black grief is silenced.
Silenced by who?
Black rage is rebranded as dysfunction. They let us rise, but only if we forget who we're rising with.
Oh, the white man.
Right? You're allowed to be black as long as it doesn't make anyone uncomfortable. That's how they talk. But blackness isn't meant to be palatable.
You know, we criticize like DEI and affirmative action and stuff a lot. But one thing that doesn't get criticized enough, only by me, I think I'm one of the few people, the few Black people who openly criticize this particular thing. This is what Black studies gives you. That entire endeavor of intellectual research, this is what it produces. This is what it's intended to produce. That's why they've gone on to kind of just create the umbrella term grievance studies. But that's basically what the Black grievance studies produces, right? A grieving nigga.
It's meant to be whole, right? We have a wound that echoes.
He have a wound. You see that? He got a wound. He's going to be grieving forever. He's going to waste all his blackness in grief.
Black. As long as it doesn't make anyone uncomfortable. That's how they talk. But blackness isn't meant to be palatable. It's meant to be whole, right? We have a wound that echoes. The moment we accepted proximity as protection, we internalize isolation as proof of evolution. But real evolution doesn't leave people behind. It builds a bridge back home, right? You didn't become better. You just became alone in a room that claps but never cares. We don't need to beg to sit at their table. We need to rebuild our table because we have a table that remembers every laugh, every.
And, you know, people like this, I think the function of this type of material and this type of accusatory poem, it's designed to create a sort of identity crisis in the Black people who would have been like naturally successful. You know, the people who just, they can't be held back by circumstance in life or whatever. And those Black folk would otherwise be the kind of Black folk that other people could model themselves after. And so to break that kind of chain, you have to break them mentally. This is another mental buck breaking.
Every struggle, every prayer, whispered through eviction walls. A table that doesn't have to shrink, explain, or perform to belong. You left to feel safe, but the circle never. But the circle was never the danger.
You really gonna tell me that the circle was never the danger?
There's no fixing this. This can't be fixed, right? This can't be fixed. You just have to escape. So that's what I did. I went to a neighborhood where, you know, I have a very low Black population.
I'm telling you, man, this the reason why I be hating niggas, man. I'm telling you, man. It just be us. I be hating niggas, man.
What's wrong with you? What's wrong with y'all? You niggas are crazy.
Everybody can see where the danger is, bro.
Nigga, please. Serious.
I actually saw that movie, bro. It's actually pretty dope. His brother's the Punisher. I like that touch. I don't remember him being in the first one. I got to go back and rewatch that one.
It was the memory of being loved without performance. We didn't fail unity. We traded it for a lie dressed like safety. And in the cycle, and the circle is still there. The circle that we all had, our table still there. The spot it was still there. And it will take you back. No passes needed.
Come back, my brothers. Come back off the right-wing plantation, my brothers. We need y'all, brothers, to come back off this far-right white man ideology. Your sister's not your enemy. Her twerking is not harming you. She's supposed to be like that with them kids. Those are her kids. They came out of her womb, brother. You're not supposed to want to have a say over how she raises her kids. What that got to do with you, brother? White man put these ideas in your head. I'm going to need you to come on down off these white man ideas and come on back in here into the black woman family.
But if man had to find out that his God was a woman,
I say the black woman is God, and
black woman is God.
I say the black woman is God.
The black woman is God because, you know, she was the first organism on this planet.
Oh man, shout out to the goddesses out there, man. We're gonna bring this one to an end. Thank you guys for coming through today. It was kind of a longer one, but I'm gonna go do some things with the kids. We're gonna go out and figure out something to do for the rest of the day. Hit that like button on your way out, guys. Thank you so much for watching the show. Thank you all for all your support. Shout out to the new church members. We will be back with another one, maybe tomorrow. You guys have a great day.
Aspiring to be patriarchs like what white men have, that isn't freedom. That isn't going to help anybody. It's certainly not going to help black people.
It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done. It's done.